Hello, everybody. What's going on? Shenangelo here with some more shenanigans. This is my first time doing a just chatting stream, but I really just need to talk about it. Final Fantasy 14, man. I just need to talk about it. I need to get it off my chest. I'm excited, and I want to share it with people. Uh, I'm also going to use this as recording for the YouTube, my Shenangelo Gaming channel. And yeah, let's get right into it, man. So I'm pretty sure anybody in the Final Fantasy community already knows we have Endwalker right around the corner. It's like a month and some days away. If you pre-registered, which of course I did day one. There's no way I wasn't gonna do that. Final Fantasy 14 has come an absolute long way. And I'm just excited. I'm excited. So today, what I want to do, I want to go and kind of go through each expansion and talk about it. So, what is it? So it's like I'm just so very hyped on the. I'm so very hyped on the release that's coming out, and I just want to talk about it. Like that's it. Point blank is simple. Like you guys might have noticed my shirt, and my shirt is definitely like how I felt when they announced it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fanboy. I really am. I'm such a huge fanboy of Final Fantasy 14. Like, so today I just want to talk about the game. I want to talk about how far they come. I want to talk about my personal experience with it. I want to talk about like how, in a sense, it did bring me a little closer to some of my family members, including still even till today. Me and my brothers are like really close because of Final Fantasy 14. My mother recently dabbled in it. She started as a black mage. It was fun watching her go through her little journey. Of course, until life got in the way, then she slowed down on it. I want to talk about like how I made a guild, and the guild started as a joke. Like it was something that me, my brothers, and at the time my high school crush, she was playing too, and we all just got together and we decided, hey, it's just us. Let's make a guild, so we all keep in touch and have fun. Final Fantasy 14 has that strong aspect to it. So let's go through A Realm Reborn. I want to talk about A Realm Reborn a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk about my experience with The Realm Reborn. I remember when this happened. 1.0, boy, that was a terrible time. Man, we came so far, man. What is this? If y'all heard that, that's literally my notification tone. That is how much I love this game. Bro, even back then, bro. Look at how gorgeous this looked, man. Look at how beautiful that is, man. Look at this. Don't do that. Bam. Oh, I remember when this happened, man. Word. Damn, bro. Could you imagine literally being them? Like just watching this and can't do anything about it? Word, get off me. Get off me. Dang, bro, look at that. My man said, I ain't done yet. I got one more plan. Oh, man. When that happened, bro, I personally cried. Like, because as young as I was, at that point, when that happened and the servers went down, like, I had personally cried at the time because, like I said, even when, I first got introduced to Final Fantasy 14 through my cousin, right? My cousin and two of our real close friends at the time. And, yeah, so it was terrible. It was terrible. But I could tell you, the very first class I wanted was a scholar. Because when I got in there, my very first character, I still remember my very first character was a Duskrite. It's like the dark version of the elves, and I made her with the purple skin and the long black hair and everything. That's what I was. And when I got into the game, I went in there blind. My cousins and them, they were still fresh off the boat as well. But it was a game we all was trying together. If they told me about it, I ended up joining it. Oh, Final Fantasy got a new game, because I'm a huge fan of 7. 7 was my first Final Fantasy. Then I went back and played, I believe it's 6, the one with Terra, I think her name is. I went back and played that one. And then I played up to, well, no, my cousin played 7 and 8. 7, 8, and 9. I played 10, 10, 2. 10 and 10, 2. Right? I purchased Final Fantasy 11, but at the time we had like dial up. We had to hook our computers into like a phone line and all. So at the time for me, it was real complicated to get. I didn't know how to do all that stuff because again, I was by myself, and I'm not really. If y'all see any of my Dofus video, I'll tell y'all I'm not that bright. That comes with like things in life too. I'm really not that bright. If I can't figure it out, I get frustrated. I'll leave it alone. So I couldn't figure out how to get my 11 to work. But when I did figure it out, I got hit with something else that I didn't understand: a monthly subscription. So, given the fact that all games that you buy, you usually buy the game, you get it as yours, you can play it. At the time, I didn't understand the whole monthly subscription thing, and then the phone wire in the back of the PS2 and all that mess. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was terrible setup. It was crazy. I couldn't figure it out. I got mad. Alas, I never played Final Fantasy 11. Never got to it, unfortunately. But as the years go on, I still remained a heavy Final Fantasy fan. 10 is always still my second favorite, and then you had Final Fantasy 7, which remains number one favorite. So getting back on track of 14, my cousins and them knew how much of a fan I was. They told me about 14 when 14 was still 1.0 and was fresh or whatever like that and terrible. I was just, bright, sparkly eyed, new world. This is going to be great. Limsa Lominsa quickly became the city I hated. And not for the reasons we got today. I quickly hated. Well, let's watch this. All right, let's watch this because this is still a Realm Reborn. Let's watch this and then I'll finish the story. A Realm Reborn. So, so yeah, at the time I was real brokenhearted when the game went down. Um, where did I leave off at? Oh yeah, about Limsa Lominsa. Limsa Lominsa quickly became the town I hated, and it's not because of the reason like the way Limsa is now. I hated Limsa Lominsa because, well, me personally, I couldn't navigate that town for nothing. walking around trying to do your quest in Limsa Lominsa was a pain in the ass for me. When they said to go outside and go kill creatures in certain exits, I couldn't figure out where the exits was. I couldn't navigate Limsa at all. Like I really couldn't do anything. So it was terrible for me. I had no idea what I was doing. I was running around blind. I was upset. So when my cousin would log in every so often and he would help me, it was terrible because he had it for, I think he had it for the PlayStation. Yo, just got my anime new. Nice, congrats. So when he got Final Fantasy, he got it for his PlayStation, and I had it. No, yeah, I had it for PC because I had got it for Steam. I remember I got it for Steam, and he had it for his system, and it was so terrible that like he would walk, and while he walking, I'll be riding on my chocobo, and he would still leave me. It was the synchronization from console to PC was terrible, but it was still good for us because we enjoyed it. We still was able to play with each other. So when the servers and stuff went down, I personally cried because I thought I was never gonna have this game again. Like even though it's trash as it was super grindy. I never made it that far because my goal was to be a scholar. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. All I knew was I wanted a ferry. That's it. I wanted a ferry. That was it. That's all I knew. So when we found out was that you needed two sub jobs to create a job. So I needed. Now I could be wrong. I could get it mixed up, but I think I needed a arcanist to 30, and I needed a cleric to 15, and then you can become a scholar, which scholars are basically summoner healers. Like they summon fairies and the fairies help. Now I worked really, 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 really hard because it was, like I said, it was very terrible back then before Realm Reborn 1.0. It was real terrible to level back then, very terrible. But I pushed through and I got it, and I became a scholar, and it was the greatest achievement at the time for me. And like I said, the servers went down. I was crying, whatever the case may be. So when the Realm Reborn came back years later, I was exhilarated. I was so happy, and I couldn't wait. But things didn't work out that well. I lost my email. That my 1.0 account was attached to. There was no way I can get that email back. So because I couldn't get that email back, I couldn't get my scholar back, my Dusk right. So I was a little heartbroken by that, and I stayed away for a little bit longer because I couldn't figure out. I was hoping maybe one day I'll wake up, Steam would work or whatever the case may be, or I will get my email back. Never happened. So somewhere down the line, I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go get it. I think it was around just before. I think it was post Heavensward, or it was post A Realm Reborn. Post A Realm Reborn, I think that I came in. Because Heavensward was new when I came back. And yeah, and I came back. What was my next class that I made? I think I was a human because Ura's wasn't out yet. I think it was a horror because Ura's wasn't out yet. But see, I change classes so frequently. I'm always buying Fantasias from even way back then. I was always buying a Fantasia. You could never catch me on one race. One minute I'll be a horror. Next minute I'm a Makote. Next minute, you know what I mean? I would never stay one race. So I was always doing it for that. I was always changing my look. Glamour was a big thing for me, even way back then. It was always, oh, I hate the way this look. I hate the way that look. It was a big thing for me. And that's where most of my time got invested in. Like everybody else was, doing, whatever raids we had and stuff back then. My main thing was making my character look good. And that, so I was late to the party as far as everything else. Because even when it came to the story, I was so focused on progression just to get better gear, to look better, than to learn who Thancred was, than to learn who Oriange was. Well, Oriange was the most difficult for me because he always had that hood, goggles, and he's speaking, what do they call it, proper English. So, he was hard. Alize and Alphado, I had no idea who they was. I just thought, Alphado was just this stuck up, annoying character who's dragging his sister everywhere because she ain't wanting to do with him. So I figured, me who watches a lot of anime, I thought the sister was gonna grow up be a villain or some stuff like that because they wasn't seeing eye to eye at the moment because she had her own agenda. Again, I wasn't invested in the story, so I didn't know what it was at the time, and it was crazy because she dipped off and we haven't seen her for a long time. So I didn't know. The earliest one that stuck out to me was Melfina and Y'shtola because, well, first of all, they females and I am a guy, so they stuck out to me the most. And surprisingly enough, I did like Y'shtola, but not as a waifu at the time. I was more captivated on trying to get my character to be my waifu, basically, my ideal waifu. So I didn't really pay attention to the story. So Realm Reborn came. There was snippets that I did enjoy within the Realm Reborn, and then after that, Heaven's Sword came out. Oh, is this the ending? No, this is the trailer. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what it's saying. I'm gonna pause here to chime in a little bit because I'm remembering as I'm watching. This is the most part that really stuck out to me, even when I wasn't following the story so well. I would say, Square Enix was so good with building up the climax to this situation that even though I wasn't paying attention to the story much, because I dang on sure wasn't sitting there reading everything, I treated it like any other game at some point. I didn't read much of nothing. So once again, I didn't have any real connections to any characters. But when this happened, I think this is when I really started to at least pay somewhat attention to some of the story. That right there. This part right here. This right here stuck out to me as well. It was just so much going on that I couldn't help but get absorbed in there. Bro, this is so fucking awesome, dude. It's so great, man. It's so good, bro. I love this game so much. Dang. My man became lunch. So yeah, oh man. So Heaven Sword came out. Like I said, I was still not really invested in the story, but I did start it too because I think the first character I actually grew attached to was Raban. I think he was because it was just something about his towering personality and his sense of duty that always stuck out to me. Like he's there for his not his well, we all ship him, his Nanamo and his Sultan. He was there for he take his duty real seriously. Then he befriends you, the Warrior of Light. I don't think we was called that at the time, but I've been invested in these later stories coming up so strongly that we're considered the Warrior of Light. But yeah, so when Heaven Sword came out, I started to understand Alpha Node a little more, and I think this is when Alpha Node started to get his character development as well. But the most fondest memories I have of Heaven Sword is again not with the story or the characters, but with me and my family, where my brother Cat, he came in with the name Dat Cat, and he was a Makote, and he came in and he got into the game, and he was no, he was on the game before because he came in at 2.0. That's no, he did. He came in at 2.0, so that's a Realm Reborn. Because I do remember when I became a scholar. No, oh yeah, so it wasn't Heaven Sword. It's just my most memory is in Heaven Sword because when I told him I was a healer, like we didn't play together that often at the time. So when I told him I was a healer, he told me I wasn't gonna like it because it's gonna get hard as you progress through the game. I think he was ahead of me, and he was like, "It's gonna get hard as you progress through the game." And I'm like, well, I've been doing good so far. You know what I mean? I'm a scholar, and I'm doing okay so far. I haven't really had that much struggles going in dungeons with people. I've been doing good, keeping my tanks and stuff alive. So what I didn't know at the time was that tanks sometimes pull. And it wasn't as big as we do now, but back then we did pull. So he got up and he was like, all right, well, if you think you're a good healer, come with me in this dungeon. So we got in the dungeon, and he pulled the entire dungeon. So at the time, we didn't have as much as things as we have today. Either that or I was still too inexperienced to the point where he was like, don't let me die. Don't let me die, bro. Don't let me die. And he would pull the dungeon and he would die and we would wipe. He did it like twice and then he slowed down. It was like, I told you, healing is hard because sometimes you're going to get guys who's going to do that. At the time, I didn't get nobody who pulled like that. But that sparked something in me to be like, okay, he think I can't do this. And I fought way too hard to get this damn ferry and then have him put me down because, of a difficulty curve. If this is the way he gonna teach me how to play the game, so be it, right? Stuck to my guns, played the rest of the game as a scholar. At some point, he took a break. I think he joined the military. So, he was away. He was fighting for us and everything all the time. So he didn't play that much. Meanwhile, I had a basic UPS job. So I was able to go home right after work and jump on my scholar and farm dungeons. So again, I'm doing the story, but not paying attention to it because now I got a new fire lit up under me. I'm not going to let this difficulty curve beat me because I fought too hard to be the scholar. So I think it was a couple of years later, right? He finally came back. Was we in Stormblood yet? Yeah, we was in Stormblood. Because I do remember we was in Stormblood by the time he came back. Because two more of my personal friends, and I really care for them a lot. Two more of my friends became really, 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 really heavy in the game. And in fact, I think they became heavy in the game when I took my break. Because other things came out and I wanted to play other things. So I, left Final Fantasy for a long time and I didn't know them two kept continue playing. So they got good. They learned the game. They learned inside and out. They was doing raids. They was doing bosses I never seen, bosses I never heard, and they was willing to teach me. So when I came back, of course, I was a scholar. I ended up joining their guild, and we end up, oh my gosh, we end up having a blast. So my old channel that got taken down, I have a video of when I first did Heaven Sword Boss. And it was so much fun. Like, you hear me cackling, you hear me screaming, you hear me going off. It was crazy. I'm sad I don't have that video no more because, you know, old computers and my old YouTube got taken down or whatever. And it was so much fun. But my memory is really tied to that. If I can find it, I will upload it to my Shenanjo Gaming channel. But, yeah, so, you know, I struggled on it with whatever case may be. And then I did struggle. Because, again, I'm playing the game as a scholar. And scholar is not really made for, like, DPS characters that heavy at the time. So, I struggled going through the story. But once again, way back when, I wanted a scholar so bad that I refused to play any other class at the time. So, I kept struggling. I kept struggling as a scholar. And I finally made it off Heavensward and even finished post-Heavensward with the help of my friends who, like I said, I still care for very much to this day. I joined their guild. They was the first guild I ever joined, and I had a blast. They taught me what I needed to know. They took me to some of the side quests, some of the dungeons. Oh my gosh, I started really getting heavy into glamour, and even then, I still wasn't as much as invested in the story as I was trying to. I want to do this dungeon, I want to do that dungeon, I want to, you know, glamour, I want to look pretty, I want to look sexy, I want my character to be this, that, and the third. So I still wasn't that invested in the story, but I did start growing connections to Raban. I personally grew connections to Alpha Node, because, you know, he had his whole character development through Heavensward. So his character was developing a little bit more, and I was getting more invested in the story. Now, I already have my characters that I'm starting to like. Y'shtola, once again, I love her mature, you know, yes mommy attitude, because she's so mature, she's so smart, and that's always been like my go-to for like any animes. I've always loved the smart type characters. I still didn't understand Urianger. Even at the end of Heaven's Sword, I still didn't really understand Urianger. You know, he kind of the proper English. I already didn't like reading all the dang time, and then he speak with the proper English, the first word English. I didn't like it, so I didn't really pay attention to Urianger. I would just skip his dialogue. Thancred, no connection whatsoever. Because Thancred, in hindsight, now I realize Thancred was an actual freaking ninja. Okay? In hindsight, Thancred was an actual ninja. Because what he would do, he would show up for the Scions, he would release information that he found, and then Menphilia would ask him to do something else. All right. And he's gone. And you won't see him for a while. So Thancred, it was an actual ninja. So I started, to get connected to Raban and Alpha Node. But then, they announced the expansion that I didn't know was going to be my favorite expansion. I fell in love with the expansion so hard. That was Stormblood. I love this. I still love this. I still love this. Oh, it gives me chills. I still love this. Oh my gosh, I still love this. I still love this. Look at that water detail, man. Look at that. Just look how beautiful this is, man. Oh, it's so good, man. Oh, now that I'm watching it again, this is where I met my waifu. Let me pause here for a second. This is where I met my waifu, and I completely forgot about it. You know, she came out of nowhere to me, and once again, I didn't really pay attention to the story, so I didn't really understand why they was there. I only caught on to the fact that they was refugees. They ran away from something, and you know, it was just something like, I guess she was mysterious or whatever, and I fell in love with her. And I don't think we knew the name at the time. I know it now, but I don't think at the time I knew the name. Because once again, keep in mind, I didn't really pay attention to the story much, but I did fall for Yugiri. I fell for her. It was something about, like, once again, it's that whole maturity and being, you know, for your people type thing, that she was willing to fight anything and anybody for the freedom of, like, oh, I fell in love with Yugiri, and that's what I wanted to point that out. This is so good. Oh my gosh. It's so good. And what's crazy is I still didn't become a samurai after this. I was a scholar. I ain't want to be nothing but a scholar. But just seeing this, oh, it's so good. What would they learn? Oh my gosh. There she go, right there. That is my wife. That is her right here. Right here. Wait, where my mouse at? Right here. When they showed her face, oh my gosh, guys. And this guy here, we're going to talk about him. My favorite expansion. This is what got me in the story, okay? Not even just the swords. It's just the character development, how fleshed out the story was. Everything about Stormblood made this my favorite expansion. Even the boring fetch quest was entertaining to me. I started to fall in love with, like, really in love with characters. Yugiri was, like, the one who dragged me because she, like, grabbed me by the heart and, you know, come with me type ordeal, because I fell in love with her before we even seen her face. And then the release of the race Ura. When I learned, I'm sorry if y'all can hear the chair. This chair is pretty old. But when I learned I can be the same race as my wife, Yugiri is the sole reason why I absolutely love Uras. I absolutely love Uras. All because of Yugiri. Oh my gosh. Fantasias? Like, my family joke that I am single-handedly feeding the kids of Yoshi P and Yoshi P's kids. Because the amount of money I spent on glamour items, Fantasias, and just other things. I brought the cloud bike when that first dropped. Oh my gosh, Stormblood was so good. All right, let's talk about why I pointed out Gosetsu. Okay? Now, when I first seen Gosetsu, I had no idea I was going to love this man as much as I do. Okay? Gosetsu, at the time when we first met him, was just this, cocky samurai dude who knows what he's worth, but, he's cocky, but not to an arrogant degree. You understand what I'm saying? So, I didn't care for Gosetsu at all in the beginning. I didn't care for him at all in the beginning. It was all about Yugiri and my Ura and my glamour at the time. It was all about Yugiri and my glamour. So Yugiri really brought me into the story. And then we started to learn more about Alize, because I believe Alize started to get more screen time. Because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but this is just how my mind is. Like I said, I didn't really pay attention. But I believe at the end of Heaven's Ward, Alize got sick. And that's when she came back and she showed up. So at the time, I was like, wow, I forgot all about that she exists, because she was gone for so long and she was doing her own investigation that I completely forgot she existed. But when she showed up, she was sick. And Alphino, they had that whole brother-sister thing going. And it was more character progression, character involvement that was fleshing out the story a bit more to me. So when they did that, I started to gravitate a little bit towards the twins, because I guess it's because I've always wanted a sibling, a flesh and blood sibling. I have a lot of siblings now, Keith, Curtis, all y'all know who y'all are, but I always wanted a flesh and blood sibling. And to see, how much Alphino cared for his sister, I was like, that's no different from what I would do with my sister. Like, my sister fell sick, bro, like, with a medicine, like, with a cough syrup, like, get my sister back on her feet. Because at the time, I didn't know she was like this tomboyish, cool character. But you learn that through Stormblood. Because Alize got tired of sitting on the back burner. And she's like, no, we got investigations to do. She would have her own mission. At the time, I didn't know it was about research and stuff about their grandfather. So I ended up falling for the twins. I love their character. I love their dynamic. But that was later on. Gosetsu, however, was another one who I ended up getting close to later on, because I'm trying to remember my steps as I got closer to Gosetsu. Gosetsu is the same thing with the same story of I'm here for my master, lack of a better word. I'm here for my master, and I'm here to protect and fight for what I believe in, type thing. And at the time, when at the time, I didn't know, we was going to meet one of the best husbandos of the game. But he was fighting hard for this man. The way the game built it up, he kept talking about this man that we never seen, that we didn't even know we was going to see. You know what I mean? So it was like, you felt obligated to help this man, because, he's this arrogant swordsman. He was arrogant not to the point of it being, annoying. He was arrogant to the point that he knows his skill level. So you felt obligated to help him through the story because of his character development, the way they introduce him, the same way as we started to learn more about Yugiri a little bit later on. So it's like Stormblood did so good with their writing that I got so invested in the story that I wanted to know everything about everybody. I wanted to know who the hell Y'shtola. I really wanted to know who Y'shtola really was. I started to connect a little bit to Urianger because I went back and I wanted to know who the fuck the Urianger was. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited, happily excited. So I wanted to know, who Urianger was because, now I'm getting invested in the story. I'm getting older. My comprehension is getting better. My memory didn't work though, but my comprehension was getting better. I wanted to know who we are as the Scions. I wanted to know Nanamo. I wanted to know Nanamo a little bit more. I wanted to know Raban a lot more. I wanted to know who Yugiri was. So it was like, it was so much fun. Let's talk about Stormblood itself as a whole. My biggest memories of Stormblood was this may be spoiler territory. So if you guys have not played Stormblood, I would say either just mute or just proceed with caution because I'm going to talk a little bit about my favorite things about Stormblood personally. But okay, so the first thing I really want to talk about of my personal memories of Stormblood, aside from story relation, is the two friends that I told you I care about. I'm just going to throw their names out there, Nathan and Alexis, because there's no way you're going to find them off of that. It was Nathan's favorite boss named Sephiroth. So at the time, I thought it was Sephiroth. Because again, keep in mind, in the very beginning of this whole thing, I told my favorite game was 7. So I thought Sephiroth was in the game. And he was like, no, not Sephiroth, Sephiroth. So, it was all his personal build up because he was so in love with the idea of because he did Sephiroth already. I didn't get there late. Remember, I was darling behind everybody because I was a scholar. So I was darling behind everybody. And I couldn't keep up. Because, everybody was DPS. Nathan was a Lancer. Alexis was everything in a book. And I refused at the time to play anything but Scholar. I will soon learn my lesson about that. So, we ended up building my character all the way up to be able to play Sephiroth. And that was my very first video on YouTube, was me fighting Sephiroth. My very first, I guess you can call it a raid. Yeah, my very first raid was Sephiroth. I had so much fun. Oh my gosh. When they was yelling the mechanics at me while I'm trying to keep the shields up, I'm trying to, I can't predetermine attacks because I didn't know who it was. And if anybody knows Scholar from the Final Fantasy franchise, or 14, with Scholar, you have to put the shields up just before an attack comes because the shield mitigates the attack. I just kept throwing shields up through the whole match because I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what to expect. There was mechanics to do. You had to dodge, and I was having an absolute blast. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun being with them. You couldn't tell me nothing. I loved every minute of it. Oh my gosh, I couldn't contain it. It was so fun. Like something that day awakened, and once again, I became to the point where I wasn't going to quit being a scholar because that just made me want to be a scholar even more. I really just fell in love with the whole thing, and the whole learning, having to predict mechanics to mitigate the attacks of bosses. It was so much fun. Oh, I love everything about that. So, getting back towards the story, right? We meet one of the greatest villains that I believe was ever written out. I'm trying to think because I watch a lot of anime. But this villain in Stormblood, once again, spoiler territory. So, if you guys don't want it to be spoiled, I guess come back later after y'all beat this expansion. But here we go. This villain, Yatsuyu, was so well written. I hated her. Past tense. At the time, I couldn't stand her. She was every negative word in the book. I couldn't stand anything about Yatsuyu. I hated her. She was the most ruthless, uncaring villain you can ever meet. She even tried to force a kid to shoot her parents simply because she was mad at something that happened. I don't exactly remember what. I just remember the kid having to point the gun at the parents. And I could be wrong. My memory is terrible. I'm so sorry. But I think like he refused. Yeah, he refused to shoot them. So she was going to shoot the kid in front of the parents until my boy Gosetsu stepped out there. Gosetsu let himself be captured because Yatsuyu was wreaking so much havoc wherever she went. She just had no sympathy for anything whatsoever. I hated her. You played through Stormblood. Characters get built up. Your character get built up. Then you meet Daddy. Anybody who know Stormblood know who I mean when I say Daddy. Daddy freaking Zeno. Daddy Xenos. Daddy Z. The big dog on the block. Xenos is another character who's in a league of his own. You know, through the whole game, through Heaven's Sword, through Realm Reborn, you know, your character, she struggled, she or he. I played the female, so I'm going to say she. She struggled, but it was nothing she couldn't overcome. Until you met Daddy Z. This man came in there and shit gets real. There's no other way I could put that. I apologize for cussing, but there's no other way I could put that. He shows up and he's just like, who's here to challenge me? Y'all think Lu Bu, whoever played Dynasty Warriors, right? Y'all think Lu Bu was bad about looking for a proper challenge? He has nothing on Xenos. He has nothing on Xenos. Xenos was looking for a challenge. He was taking over countries for the sake of a challenge. He overthrew his father for the sake of a challenge. Oh, well, okay, to be fair, he overthrew the father because the father was trying to get rid of the Warrior Light. And the Warrior Light, he pulled the Hunter x Hunter. If y'all see Hunter x Hunter, he did one of those. That the Warrior Light has the potential to give him the greatest challenge of his life. So when he first met us, oh boy, did he trash us. Oh, it wasn't even a match. It really was not. We could not do nothing. Even though in the game, they make you feel it. They make you feel that you can't do nothing. It don't matter what class you was, warrior, dragoon, samurai. He beat the crap out. Even while you playing through the cinematic, you can't even hurt this man. You have to get his health bar to a certain threshold, and then skip to a cinematic where he just trashed your character. It makes you feel it. It makes you feel helpless. You can't do nothing against this guy. And he's just walking up to you menacingly. When you get, as a melee character, when you get close, he'll swipe his sword at you, push back. You couldn't do nothing. He does like 2 or 3 specials where you got to dodge the AoEs, but you get close to him, swipe the sword, you get pushed back. I had a little bit of easy time, and don't let the word easy distract you. I would say I have an easier time than melees because I could at least poison him and damage him from a distance while he slowly and menacingly walks up to me while I'm stuck in this damn ring. You're stuck in a ring, so you can't even run. And, you know, he's walking up to you menacingly. And I at least can sit by, Broyu, poison 1, poison 2, Broyu. You know, I can sit up there and I can spam that. But even then, his health wasn't going nowhere. And I finally got him. And that's when we got to the cinematic, where he beats the crap out of your character. He fought, he beats the crap out of Alize. He almost killed a character named Alize. He almost killed Stola. Like I can't explain how much of a badass this guy was. I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him though. Who I hated was Yatsuyu. Until we got her backstory. She had the worst, and I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it because I want you guys to experience it. But all I'm going to say is she had, once again, one of the most well-written stories to the point where I can't even hate her. I actually sympathize with her. Does it justify her actions? No. Hell no. Hell to the no. It does not justify anything she does. However, I can seriously sympathize with why she did it. I can sympathize where her hate comes from. And that, to me, is a really, really, really good character writing. Yatsuyu, to this day, is probably my favorite villain of all Final Fantasy XIV. The other ones we did, La Habrea Partner, all the other ones, I don't even remember them. Hervase Velgar's brother, I don't remember his name. But Yatsuyu, I remember her. I remember her. So, while I was still enjoying other things of Stormblood that had going, there were still other things that I was getting into, side stories, side quests, and things like that, just to spend more time with the twins, just to try to see Yugiri more, just to get closer to Gosetsu. I was really enjoying it, and like always, there's always raids, there's always, hard mode, extreme mode, and all that you gotta unlock. I just loved Stormblood. So at the end of Stormblood, personal experience again. At the end of Stormblood, there is this fight you had to do with Daddy Z yet again. This is where I learned my lesson about playing the game as a scholar. It's the cat. He keep rubbing on me, and I got my pants on and don't want to mess up my pants. As a scholar, I was totally helpless. I couldn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. I finally went to a second class. And I decided to go back and learn Summoner. Because if you guys don't know me, in every game I play, I'm either some sort of archer or mage, which usually results in Summoner. You've guys seen my Dofus video. I am an Osmosis. That is a Summoner. Wakfu. I am an Osmosis. That is a Summoner. DFO. I am a Chaos. That is a Summoner. I always play Summoners. Black Desert Online. I forgot what her name is, but she got the huge seal and the Morning Star. She's a Summoner. I always play Summoners or Archers. Went back, geared up my Summoner. And the only reason I went backwards because I started doing dungeons to learn how to play my Summoner. Got my Summoner geared up. Took a while. Got my Summoner geared up. Even though the levels was there, the levels ain't nothing if you ain't got gear. And that's the thing a lot of people can say, oh, well, you had it easy because you ain't even had to level your Summoner. Your Summoner is tied to your... It's about the same as using a potion on your character. There's no point if you don't know how to use your character. So I went back and I taught myself how to use my Summoner. I'm feeling confident. I think I know what to do. I went in to fight Xenos. Welcome back, Frankie. Welcome back. I went back to fight Daddy Z yet again, this time as a summoner. I was feeling confident. I learned a lot over the months, probably a year or two. Let's do this. Nope. Daddy Z wasn't hearing none of that. Nope. Kicked my ass. Now I'm forced to raise a whole nother character. I went back and took my time, and this is why I learned tanking. Okay, they called you about New York NYC. I wish I could have went this year. So I went back and I learned my second role, tanking. So like a lot of people in Final Fantasy 14, and if anybody stumble across this video in the future, I want to tell y'all, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Take your time and learn. Take your time and learn. That's what I did. I took my time and I learned how to, guess when it is. I don't know, November 19th, because that's the only date I'm waiting on. Take your time and learn, because it's nothing to be afraid of. The community of 14 is so nice. I've had somebody go with me on Ramu Extreme. Yeah, I think it was Ramu Extreme, the lightning guy. And he sat there the whole 90 minutes. The whole 90 minutes. Some complete stranger from a whole nother data center. Wasn't even my same world. And he sat there and he taught me. No, I think he was the same world. I think he was a different data center. I always get those mixed up. Anyway, basically he sat there the whole 90 minutes and he took his time. November 19th. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have made it. There's no way I would have made it. He sat there that whole 90 minutes. And he was like, you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. When this happened, do that. When that happened, do this. And there was other people who ended up, some people left. Everybody is not nice. But there was some people left. But there was like 4 or 5 of them now. They with us. Come on, dude. You got this. You can do it, bro. Woo. You can do it, bro. Woo. They was cheering me on. I'm having my inferiority complex because I feel bad because I'm holding everybody back. But they cheering me on. Like, it was so fun. And that's back in A Realm Reborn. So now, like, so to get to the point, please don't be afraid of tanking in Final Fantasy. Because there's going to be people who's going to take their time. Now, you're going to meet some buttholes. It's bound to happen. You're going to meet some. But don't let them discourage you, because there are a lot more positive people in this community, me included. My guild started with people who was way back in the Realm Reborn. I was already midway through Shadowbringers. And I still took my time and I taught them. There was somebody who didn't even know how to use the chat. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. They didn't even know how to use the chat. They was in a guild. I thought they was just a silent guild member. Nope. They found me in town one day and they was talking in general chat. Didn't know how to use the guild chat. Didn't know how to switch through the different chat functions. That's how new that person was. In fact, this was their very first MMO. And I had so much fun teaching them. It's so nice to get people like that. I love watching new people. Like, even now, I love watching Asmongold. I'm not a fan of his. I just recently started getting into his video, but I love his reactions to everything new. And that's just how I am. I love watching new people in this game. So do not be afraid of tanking. Do not be afraid of healing. You're going to have people who's going to test you, and then you're going to have the rest of us who's there to teach you. Don't be afraid. So getting back to the story of Stormblood, I had to go back and I learned warrior, because cute slender female with big weapons, yes please, yes please. Cute slender female, big weapon, yes please, please, yes, thank you. Took a while. Shadowbringers dropped. Never, still stuck on Daddy Z. I don't even know why I looked over there. Still stuck on Daddy Z. But Shadowbringers dropped. Word. This 5 seconds when this came out, you see this little cinematic here? Okay, I'm on Twitch, so I'm going to put this as politely as possible. Had me... I can't... I'm trying to edit myself, but I can't... Just the shirt. There you go. Perfect. Had me like this. Had me all like this. Every last face. This was me.
How many years have come?
Oh my, it's so... Oh my gosh. I was losing my shit. I was losing it. When they did...
How many years have I waited for this moment?
This is exactly where I was stuck at. This right here is exactly where I was stuck at. Leveling that warrior, trying to get here in this battlefield. This is an actual stage. This is an actual stage that I'm currently stuck on because I got here as a damn scholar. Because I thought I could do it as a summoner. And now I'm leveling a warrior because I'm stuck on this exact stage. And to think the stage I'm stuck on is in the opening of a cinematic that just tell you how serious this fight is supposed to be. And I'm just...
For the one that stood alone against the storm. For the one they called.
This should be my last time pausing, I hope. But even then, that part you just saw there, that part there still, you know, didn't do Xeno's justice. I wholeheartedly, as a person who's seen this clip, who went through the fight and seen what happens after, we didn't win that fight. We didn't win that. Hell no, we ain't win that.
The warrior of light.
Isekai, anybody? Y'all like isekais? I do. That's me with my memory. I can't remember shit. I can't remember shit. Oh. That was his reaction. Oh, bro, chill. Tomorrow. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at this. What sayest thou, Master Matoya? You may accept this fate or defy it, but you cannot deny it. Deny? I'm not running from my troubles. Let's go. Bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah. Until our friend returns. I shall hold the line. come on, man. Come on, man.
This town certainly has changed. And not a
Oh, for the better. Help me! Help!
I'm not going anywhere.
I promise you, midfielder. Bro, when he said that, now the rest of us who know what happens, we was like, what? What? We was like, what did he just say? Midfielder? What? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. New dancer class. I was like, oh.
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh unknown calamity.
Come on, bro. Please, know your place.
If history must be unwritten,
Insert step on me mommy memes. Meow. Become what you must. Kill me. Ow. Become the warrior of darkness. God through the night. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh, bro. Y'all think I'm bad now? This is me watching this years. Oh my gosh, I actually dropped a tear. This is me years after watching this damn thing over and over again. This is me struggling to defeat Daddy Z to come here and see the rest of this damn story. Like literally a meme came out of the very first part. Word. A meme came out at the very first part called Throw Open the Gates. And that is part of the whole reason why I think we really lost that fight against Xenos. Because when we start getting them headaches, oh, my cat jumping in the box again. Let me see if I can catch her. Oh, she heard me. I think my cat know English, bro. Look at her. Wait, you recording me? What are you doing? Oh well, what's in this box? Let's see if she do it again. Is she a big ass cat trying to fit in that little box? Anyway, she wasted time. I'll show y'all if she go back in there. But yeah, so oh my gosh, y'all think like this reaction I'm having now is still how good this game is to me. All the memories that's flooding back to me. Y'all think this reaction now is over the top? Y'all should have seen me when this dropped. When this first dropped, I was still stuck on Daddy Z in a previous expansion. But when this dropped, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. You think I'm bad now? Bro, I couldn't wait for my job to pay me. And when it did, it was mine. Sorry, Katie. It was 100%. It scared the cat. It was 100% mine, and and it was terrible because I was still stuck on that last fight with Daddy Z that I couldn't even get off. I was sitting in that arena. Everything around us burning. And my stupid behind want to play the game as a scholar. I could not get off of that man for nothing. But when I leveled up that warrior, oh, it was close. It was real close. I'm not about to sit here and say I trashed that man. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But it came down to the wire. I got past them damn 3 swords. And I beat Xenos finally. And I got into Shadowbringers. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. By this time, I was already invested in the characters. I already had my 2 waifus, Yugiri and Sadu. I had my husbandos, which was what's his name? Hien was my husbando. I don't think I had another one at the time, but I think Hien was my husbando. But Yugiri and Sadu couldn't tell me nothing. I love them. I love them. I fell for the twins, not that way, but I fell for the twins. I absolutely love their character. I love how they was together. I love the Alize tomboyishness and her willingness to get her information, whatever she was going for, and then she really became an official member of the Scions when she started getting out there, started wilding. I love the fight with Susano. The seas part for we alone. I had that as my text tone for so long. I still do that fight because I love that fight so much, bro. But then we got to Shadowbringers. And as I said, Stormblood was my favorite expansion. And the reason I say was because Shadowbringers stole the carpet from under my feet. It was so good. The music, the character development, the writing, the everything of Shadowbringers absolutely stole the carpet from under my feet. I had so much fun. You couldn't tell me nothing. Oh my gosh. I was so invested in the story. I was so invested in the characters. I was invested in the environment and even started to pay attention to the music. That's how good it was. I'm a type of person who could watch an anime and can't tell you a single soundtrack. I'm a person who watch an anime, absolutely fall in love with the anime, and can't hum one song, probably other than the opening theme song, assuming I watched the theme song. But Shadowbringers, I still listen to his entire soundtrack till this day. There is nothing I can say negative about this. If I had to nitpick a negative, is that there's chatting quests. Some quests we just go talk to people and then that's it. If I had to pick a negative, that would be it. But the characters and the dynamic between Alize and Alpha Node, oh my gosh, it was so good. Between Alize character development of the camp she was trying to take care of and losing her friend was so heartbreaking to me. Hey, Japan Freak, welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying your stay. Thank you for the follow. We're just having a Final Fantasy discussion right now. But yeah, the stuff that Alize went through, it absolutely broke my heart. And that's what made me start, like I said, pay attention to the twins a lot more. Because when you first get to Stormblood, it's Finn. Oh, all right, what's up? Hey, Finn. How you doing? So, it was so good. I can't say nothing negative about this damn game. This expansion, it completely Stormblood was my favorite expansion, but Shadowbringers came and took it from under my feet. It's just I can go on forever about this, and I'm trying to nitpick my favorite parts, but guess what? It's hard to do. It's very difficult to do. I can't sit here and pick out just a simple part that was my favorite. I love everything that came out with Shadowbringers. It's just, like I said, it's so good. I never paid attention to music in anything, not even in my anime, not even my favorite animes. I would have to watch an anime 3 or 4 times before I start realizing, damn, that's a cool beat in the background. Nope. Man, I was watching the twins since Heavensward. Shadowbringers was just exactly. You missed my rant about Stormblood, but Stormblood is when I really started to pay attention to the twins. So it was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. In between what is her name? Tatamo. Oh my gosh, see, I can't even remember her name. No, the little one who's in charge of all the finances with the scions. Tatamo. Cause I'm getting mixed up with her and Papa Limo. It's not Papa Limo. It's what is her name? Anyway, when Alphino Tataru, thank you. It was Tataru. Her dynamic with Alphino was hilarious when they sat there and we bought Gosetsu's sword back in Stormblood, and and I love the fact that like she got upset with him because it wasn't in the budget. Like she was so good with budget. But that's still Shadowbringers. That's Stormblood. Shadowbringers. It's so much Shadowbringers. I can't even think of in between the Crystal X arc. Oh my gosh, the Crystal X arc. I always thought he was a cool character despite him being mysterious. I first originally thought he was going to be a villain. Then there was the whole what are they called? Sin Eaters. You had the Sin Eaters. Of course, my degenerate ass with some of the Sin Eaters. I designed my Ura after a Sin Eater. I made her skin very, very pale, and I gave her really light blonde hair, and made her horns lighter because I started to become a fan of the Sin Eaters, especially the humanoid ones. And just this expansion was so good. 4-3. Now, I got to a point where I hated him, but I did not hate him like I hated Yatsuyu. Okay? I swear, Yatsuyu was the best written villain in anything I've seen. One of the best. I can't think of anything else right now past Toguro. Toguro was another villain who was written super freaking well. But Yatsuyu is such a good written character. I just loved, especially when they hit you with her background, and oh my gosh, it's so good. But I'm going back to Stormblood again, but that's just to prove to you how much I had a connection with Stormblood until Shadowbringers came out. Like I said, I got to know Thancred very, very well. I didn't really care for Thancred, and then Teslin got me hard because I fell in love. Oh yeah. See, I mentioned that earlier with Alize. I mentioned that earlier. And Teslin was another one. And she's not even the main character. That's another point. I'm glad you brought that up, Finn. That's another point. She's another character who wasn't even a main character. She was a side character. But Shadowbringers was written so well that other players can fall for side characters. And that Shadowbringers is just that good. Like, oh my gosh. It's so many things I can nitpick about Shadowbringers that, like, from the meme, throw open the gates, all the way to, the dancer class and being able to play dancer and gunbreaker to watching Thancred become a father. Thancred was great since post Heavensward. I really didn't pay attention. I had the whole story about that earlier, but I really didn't pay attention to anybody, really. I didn't start paying attention to everybody until after Heavensward. So I didn't really care for Thancred too much. I definitely didn't care for Urianger. And Urianger and fucking Shadowbringers. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I don't mean to cuss again. But Urianger and Shadowbringers, yes. He became one of the top tiers, in my opinion, in Shadowbringers. Oh my gosh. When he had more voice lines, and they got the nerve to give him comedy scenes. They got the nerve to make him have an actual sense of sense of humor. They got the nerve to give him that. And he's such a funny character in his own way. Y'shtola, I got closer to Y'shtola. She became more of mommy. Especially in, again, pointing out Stormblood. I am so sorry I keep pointing out Stormblood. But because of my journey through Shadowbringers, I'm remembering my love for Stormblood as well. But, I really started to take notice of Y'shtola after Little Sun. You guys know what scene that is. Little son. She called him, come, you like a little puppy, come back when you become a lion or something like that. It's so good. But Y'shtola, Master Matoya, became Master Matoya. And again, as somebody who didn't pay attention to the previous, somebody who didn't pay attention to the previous expansion, English, I didn't know who Master Matoya was. It wasn't until we had to go back and visit her to the point where that's her teacher. Oh, okay. It all makes sense now. And that was one of the cutest moments I've ever seen with Y'shtola. When they expose, you took the name of your teacher. And you wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Like, that was the cutest moment. Shadowbringers. That was one of the cutest moments ever. Oh! Not Y'shtola. My mother called. I gotta call her back later. I call her back when I take a break from, because I'm gonna play my other game after I finish doing this. So the twins, Alize and Alphinaud, fleshed out, made them more like siblings, and I loved it. Once again, for y'all who's just coming in, Finn, who's just coming in, I've always wanted like a real life sibling, and I'm talking about blood sibling. Like I got other siblings now. Like I said, Keith, Curtis, Sean, y'all know who y'all are. But I wanted a blood sibling, and seeing the dynamic, the brother sister relationship with Alphinaud and Alize being fleshed out more. I couldn't fall in love with them anymore. Especially when we was in the fairy village, the Fae village, and Alize, Alphinaud made a comment about Alize, and she did that slow behind. He's like, it reminded me of certain somebody else, and she turned around and looked at him like, then started. The characters are so fleshed out so well in Shadowbringers that I loved every minute of it. See, it was different for me because I was playing each expansion in succession. Yeah. And, that's good too. It's like binging a show that has like 5 seasons already released. I personally would prefer that. The only thing that was good with me before the Shadowbringers expansion is because, like I said, I got stuck on Daddy Z at the end of Stormblood. So by the time I was able to raise a warrior to beat Daddy, this came out. And I just was doing this. I just was doing this the whole way through. I was just doing this, right? That was me through the whole game. Like I said, I started to get connected to people I didn't even care about. I got connected. And, let's talk about adorable little... I don't want to say her name yet. Let's talk about adorable little Menphilia. She was so adorable. And the father and daughter relationship between her and Thancred, oh my gosh. Character development. Because once again, I knew nothing about Thancred. Other than the fact that I felt he's a real ninja. He'll go out, get information, come back, tell the Scions, and go out again. I didn't know much about Thancred. I didn't care much about Thancred. But when he got here, and his character was fleshed out, and we got more of his background and everything, I absolutely love the Scions. I also been taking pictures of moments and lines that stood out to me. Yeah, it's just that good. It's just that good, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Now I didn't really do any major raids in Shadowbringers, not that I'm aware of. The raids that I did do, like my favorite dungeon is the very first dungeon. My second favorite is the quartet. I can't pronounce these words, but it's the one where you and Y'shtola got to go check the ruins, and that beat come on. Dun 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 dun. I just, yo, it's just so good. It's just so good. I just love it. Push, Punish, Thancred was my absolute favorite. It's just dun 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 dun. It's so, the music is so good. The boss music dun 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 dun. Like I told you, it usually take me a while to catch up on stuff like that. I normally don't hear things like that when I watch animes and when I play games. But Shadowbringers just gave it all. It's just in your face. Here, take it in the face. I loved every minute of this game. The first dungeon, the second one was good. I would say out of all the songs, I would say the second dungeon song was probably the worst to me because it's not really a song. It's just like I guess you would say a melody rhythm. So it really wasn't a song. It was just like a melody rhythm. But it fit the theme. Because at the end of it, you fought against probably the most handsome frog you've ever seen. Like, it's like he comes out, he got this tux on, he got this violin, and he's just, let's play a musical. Na, 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 na. Like, oh my god. To the point they could make a frog stand out in the story, bro. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. If y'all not at Shadowbringers yet, I can't wait till y'all get there. Because they stuck their foot in it. How they say when cooking, they stuck their damn foot in it. Fuck it, they put their whole leg in it. They went thigh deep. They went thigh deep, bro. Like, they did such a good job with Shadowbringers. And I went through all of it. I went through as much as I can. And very, very, very recently. So recently, just this morning, in the AM, me and the guild, we got together. And we defeated Hades. I forgot his actual name. The dungeon's name. But we defeated Hades Extreme. My first Extreme. Other than, Ramu. I did Ramu, but this was the first one I did with my guild. With the whole chat. And I enjoyed every minute. I of course I got punished. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and it's Hades. It's terrible. It's hard. But we did it, and we did it not once but twice. And I'm still building memories of Shadowbringers. I'm still building memories. My third favorite dungeon is the one as you going through the dungeon. I don't know the name of it, but everything around you is on fire. And you got the Asian. I don't want to give out his name. Best guy, by the way. I think I would rate him. Now I'm stuck because I'm trying. Do I want him or do I want Ian from Stormblood as number one husbando? Okay, let's be fair. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put Red Hair Cat Boy as number one. And I'm going to put the ASEAN number 2. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the ASEAN number 2. And then Hien can be number 3. I'm going to do that. That's my top 3 husbandos, okay? It's hard to pick because they write these characters so well. They write them so good. And this is the point I want to drive home. They write these characters that damn good. We got all that going on. I'm still building memories. We got plans to do not Eureka. Boja. I'm still got to get my weapons for Boja. It's still a thing that's live and kick it. And like I said, we just got Asmon Gold on board. I've been following Zeppela since Stormblood. We've got a lot of people that makes it more fun, because what I don't know, I go look them up. Lazar was another good one. I love his personality, the Summoner Lover. I love his personality. He's goofy, and I love his videos. So it's just so many things going on right now that just make this game so good, and the community is just as good as the damn game. You're gonna get some a-holes. That's in anything. You're gonna get some a-holes, but the community as a whole is so good, and I love that I can be a part of this community. Let's try to speed this up, because once again I can gush about this all day. So, "See the Sacrifice" is a damn good song, but my favorite in terms of the raids, it has to go to the Fairy King. It's my actual ringtone on my phone. It's my ringtone. Come and play. It's so fun. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to speed up, because it's like I can gush about it all day, and I don't want to do that. So you have that. Titania is my favorite raid. I haven't done Extreme yet, but I just love. Oh, okay. I gotta take. I don't have the link thing. My Streamlabs keep. Yeah, no, that's my Streamlabs. My Streamlabs stop people from posting links. I don't know how to turn that off, so I apologize for that. But so where was I? Titania is my favorite. I didn't do Extreme yet. I want to do it to experience it. I want to do Titania Extreme to experience it. Like I said, well, we've did Hades, so I'm pretty sure I can learn Titania if we can do Hades. "See the Sacrifice," really, really good song. Really good song. I love the song. But Titania takes it for song, music, battle. It's just so good. Let's continue on, because I can go on all day. There's so many more I can talk about. Like, all right, one more I want to say before we move on is the comedy is gold. When you talk about how Alphino can't, from Alphino not being able to swim to Urianger thinking he's Jesus, and that whole clip, and Thancred's like, oh my gosh, here we go again. I have to dive in to go save him, because apparently Urianger can't swim. It was so good. It was so good. Then a live letter came out. Final Fantasy came out with a live letter. Before I knew it, 2.5 years that went by. I had no idea that time flew, because that's how much fun Shadowbringers was to me. 2.5 years flew by. We got a live letter. New expansion coming out.
Peggy 16.
Every time I watch this. Wasn't posting a link. I was posting my top 3 husbandos. Emmerich, Thancred, and Albert, by the way. It's probably because they probably thought it was a link with a dot and whatever name. Artbird. I remember the name Artbird. I don't know who that is. I remember Emmerich. I wish I would have recorded this live, because
the fabric of the star had begun to fray, its land rent by tooth and claw.
Can't myself, you know.
And I've had enough of this rabble.
Come on. Stop, bro. I can't take this. It's so good. I don't even like Estidian, but this is bad ass, bro.
In defiance of that fate. The hour is come to retry. It's all or nothing.
I'm not making that up. My face really hurt. I didn't know. I thought that was a lie. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
The stage is set. But will our heroes deign to play their part? You took your time.
The homies.
The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draws nigh.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
While the world is lost to ruin.
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must then, but we scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
The scythe reveal, we all lost our shit. We all lost it during the live letter.
Past the far edge of fate. Green blades dark as light.
I just realized my headphones wasn't even on. It was coming through the laptop. Oh, it's so good. I've seen that trailer at least, no exaggeration, 20 times. And it still gets me. I'm guessing my headphone not being in wasn't a problem because nobody said nothing about it. But yeah, oh my gosh. It's when that dropped, when this trailer dropped during the live letter, me and my guild, we was just going crazy. We was analyzing the crap out of everything. We was trying to speculate everything. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so daggone good. And this is supposed to be the conclusion. This is supposed to be the conclusion to the whole story. Yes, they all hit, bro. They really do. So this is supposed to be the conclusion of the story in which A Realm Reborn started or continued, because A Realm Reborn was even a continuation of the calamity that happened in 1.0. So this is the conclusion of everything. And my man Yoshi P said, bro, this ain't even it. He even just recently said in a recent video, he's still planning 10 more years ahead. So we got 10 more years of this game to look forward to. I can't, bro. I love it. I love every freaking thing about this game. I could sing its praises all day, man. Like I said, I've seen that trailer at the very least 20 times, and that is not an exaggeration. And it's like, bro, this account ain't subscribed to it. My other account is. But it's like, bro, sorry. It's just, it blows me away every time. It gets me hyped. It gets me pumped. Even the Stormblood trailer, the Shadowbringers trailer, the Stormblood trailer, the oh my god, it's just so good. And I love how when you watch the A Realm Reborn trailer, it makes you feel like how this is the start of a journey. It makes you feel like that because you can see, you know, from the 1.0 calamity when everything looked all sour and you know, depressing and all the terrible stuff, to us showing up in the reborn realm and the black mage pointing out like, look, there's a new world, bro. It's still our world though. Like, we got another chance, to the point we call and whistle for the chocobos and we ride off to start the new adventure to Heavensward, where we had to run away to hide in I don't even remember the name. I'm drawing a blank because I'm so excited. I can't even think of the name of where Heavensward take place. Where is it? I can't think of the name. I'm drawing a blank because I'm very, very excited right now, and I'm high off adrenaline. So you got that, and we had to run away to Heavensward to learn how to be a dragoon, because the dragon song war between the elves and the damn dragons. And real quick before I bounce to log in, got one more post for you. If anything, bring it up in the Discord, and I can pull it up here. My Discord is on, so bring it up in Discord. I'll pull it up here because my what's name ain't my Streamlabs is gonna block it. But when we ran away because of what happened to Nanamo and made it to, you know, Heavensward and learned how to be a dragoon, from there to becoming a refugee in the Stormblood area, Japan is what I called it because that's basically what it is. No other way around it. I'm gonna read that in a second. From going from there to the final fight of that's what I meant. Okay, 1 second. From there, going into the final fight of Stormblood, to being isekai'd to another world in Shadowbringers, the journey itself is even told through the damn trailers. And then now we got this one, the final conclusion to a 10-year story, bro. And we ain't even done yet because I want to talk about the classes. I want to talk about the classes of Endwalker. See, when Graha mentioned to Urianger how much we mattered to the people of the future, and so much as even the side quests mattered, and just main story quest moments, it just gave me a profound feeling that the little things we do today could greatly impact the people in the future, that our legacy and what we stand for will be the guiding light to those lost in darkness. This is what I meant. No fucking worries. I love the trailer guy. Yeah, right? I heard a rumor a while ago. I heard a rumor a while ago that we were supposed to be getting a Final 14 movie. And here he is. And I'm gonna go
Final Fantasy 14.
and I'm gonna go through each one of the job changes because he did all of them. So where's this job changes playlist? Here we go. So there was rumor that we were supposed to get a Final Fantasy 14 movie, and if we are, I can't wait. If we are, so I don't know how long. Let's see. Each of these videos is about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. Yeah, we can run through these, and then I guess I'll call it for the discussion section of the stream. But yeah. So let's review each job. Let's talk about our opinions of what we think gonna happen. And these are all subjected to change. They're gonna tell you development is subject. All the developments is subjected to change. But this is what we got and what we know so far. Love developer journey in the trailer. The Planders. I have no idea. I have no idea what or who that is. But yeah, so we're gonna review each one and we're gonna talk about it because they got news of how the skills work. For now, all of it's can and will change, but I just want to talk about it and have my opinion on each one. So let's start with Lazar's favorite character, the Summoner.
Summoner. Yes, good old Summoner. No longer a dot or ruin mage with summons on the side, but actual summons. Not only that, but the new job gear is perfect. I mean, just look at that Summoner done. There's a lot that has changed. I mean, it's a complete rework, but let's go over it. I think you're gonna like it. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially. Since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
The one that stole the show.
First, let's go over Summoner's non-summon abilities. For single target, you have Ruin 3, which is much faster and beefy now, and Try Disaster for AoE. Energy Drain and Energy Siphon still give you 2 stacks of Aether Flow, which you could spend on Fester or Pain Flare. This also gives you 1 Ruin 4, which you can use, which is now an instant AoE. And
nice.
And that's it. Everything else you're going to be doing is summoning. Summoner has 2 different kinds of summons. The Demi summons, like Bahamut and Phoenix, and then the new Elemental summons, like Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan. Bahamut and Phoenix will recharge your ability to summon the 3 Elemental summons.
Okay.
The overall rotation is going to be a loop of Bahamut to the 3 Primals and Phoenix to the 3 Primals. And when the summon is out, it replaces the spells on your bar. There are 3 new spells which are used solely for your summons abilities. Astral Flow is for special abilities for every summon. Gem Shine is for single target, and Precious Brilliance is for AoE. These ones are used only for the elemental summons and have a certain amount of charges depending on which summon you have out. And the Demi summons will replace Ruin 3, Try Disaster, Astral Flow, and Enkindle. During Bahamut, you have Astral Impulse for an instant single target, and Astral Flare for instant AoE. You also get 1 Death Flare and 2 Akmorns. Oh yeah, and he does all of his auto attacks on his own. You don't have to activate them. And he doesn't follow you around like a lost puppy anymore. He will stay still. Each summon does a big with 2G's AoE ability when it comes out. So Ifrit's abilities are high potency cast times and a gap closer melee combo. You have 2 charges.
that's insane, yo.
Ruby Catastrophe AoE. Then you have Crimson Cyclone to dash into the boss, which combos into Crimson Strike. Both of those are instant AoEs. Then Titan's abilities.
Those are AoEs, wow.
Medium potency instant spells with off globals. You have 4 charges available for Topaz Right, a single target instant, or Topaz Catastrophe, an AoE instant. And after each one of those, you're able to weave in Mountain Buster between them, and then you do a little clap. Garuda's potency, but gotta go fast. Super quick instant spells. along with a casted floor AoE. That's right, we kind of have Shadow Flare. You have 4 charges available to use on Emerald Right for single target or Emerald Catastrophe for AoE. Then you have Slipstream to Hardcast, which leaves an AoE on the
crazy.
ground, so make sure the boss isn't going to move out of it. And finally, you have Phoenix to finish it all off. Phoenix will also do its auto attacks automatically and still has the AoE regen. You have Fountain of Fire for instant single target and Brand of Purgatory for instant AoE. It's no longer a 1-2 combo. There's also 2 Revelations just like before, and there's a new ability called Rekindle. It's a 200 potency cure on any target, and it grants the Rekindle status. When that person's HP falls below 50%, or if the timer wears off, it'll trigger Rekindle and give them a 200 potency regen. Such flavor. Besides those, you also have 2 carbuncle abilities, because we couldn't forget about you, little guy. Radiant Aegis is a 20% HP shield on your side.
Nice.
It has 2 charges. This is very good because I die a lot. And Devotion has become Searing Light, a 3% damage buff to everybody, but for 30 seconds.
Wow.
2-minute cooldown. And that's it. I think I got it all. Also, there's a funny little tidbit. When you're below level 90, you summon Ifrit, Garuda, and Eggies instead. So the little and do a little rock attack and disappear.
Oh, that's amazing.
Lower than that, you have different versions of some of these spells. Like without Bahamut, you have Dreadhorn Trance, and before even that, you get Aether Charge and Carbuncle Summons. Yeah, Summoner's going to be very interesting even at low levels. So what do you think? I freaking love it. Trying to do the rotation in the little time that I had, I felt like I was always summoning something. Actually, there's basically no filler at all. Some people are concerned that Summoner became too trivial, but I think that actually I was pressing a wider variety of buttons more often than I did before. Keep in mind, right now we have 3 buttons that we never use, the Summon 3 Eggies. But in this version, we're pressing those buttons all the time. And also, the rotation contains choices. And where there is choice, there is complexity.
Yep.
I think Uncle Ben said that. We are finally true summoners, and I am a very happy Summoner Dong enthusiast. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now. So
Let me pause here. I want to say, I think that's Zephyla. I believe Zephyla ran around as the bunny boy when she was trying to figure out how Scholar worked. I think that's Zephyla.
check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Yo, okay, Summoners is gonna be funny. They also amazing. Let's also keep in mind. Let me also tell everybody that this is my first time seeing these, so we're gonna get my raw reactions. I'm gonna be quiet a lot unless somebody talks to me, but I'm gonna be quiet a lot because this is literally my first time watching this. So I'm gonna be bringing up, my own opinions as we watch together. And I was hoping Reaper was later on down, but I guess Reaper's next. So let's just continue on because we got still a couple of more to go.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down.
Also, I want to support them, so I turned my blocker off.
Edgy, and really, it's just living its best life. Or afterlife? Anyway, this is its job gear. I really like the hat. I'm pretty sure that I heard somewhere that covering one of your eyes will increase your DPS. So it's and scythes are one of the coolest weapons in all of creation.
That's damn sure true.
Yeah, this does not disappoint. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
Word. Let's see what the Reaper looking like, guys.
Reaper has 2 main resources. There's the Soul Gauge, which is the red one, and the Shroud Gauge, otherwise known as the blue one.
The blue one.
Your normal attacks to generate Soul Gauge. Then you spend this Soul Gauge to use Avatar attacks. Using one of those attacks will unlock
Persona.
a Soul Reaver.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Those will generate Shroud Gauge with the blue one. And then you spend the Shroud Gauge to let the Avatar possess you, which I'm sure is perfectly safe.
Unity!
Mode, you go real fast and you alternate attacks, and you finish it off with a big 1000 potency casted attack called Communio.
That junk say
This
1000
graphic is
potency.
just a single target. There's also AoE versions of this stuff. So for the normal attacks that generate your Soul Gauge, Reaper is a melee, and thus it must have a 1-2-3 combo. It is known. And that combo is Slice into Waxing Slice into Infernal Slice.
Okay.
All of which will increase your soul gauge, which is the red one. Then for AoE, you have an AoE combo, Spinning Scythe into Nightmare Scythe. Please do not use this on single target. And then normal attacks that are on charges. This is Soul Slice for single target and Soul Scythe for AoE. These will generate a whopping 50 soul gauge. Okay, so that was the normal stuff. Next are the avatar attacks, all of which will cost 50 soul gauge.
Okay.
There's Bloodstalk for single target and Grim Swath for a cone AoE. Both
Oh, that looks
will
cool.
unlock one Soul Reaver attack. Then there's an additional one on a minute cooldown called Gluttony. This is a big potency AoE that gives you 2 Soul Reaver attacks. Now on to the Soul Reaver attacks. There's 3 of them. And these are the ones that generate 10 Shroud Gauge, the blue one. For single target, there's Gibbet and Gallows. These are the ones with positionals. And when you use one of them, it will enhance the other one. So you will be alternating uses of these. As a side note, these will also alter your Bloodstock, but that just happens anyway. You don't really have to think about it. It's just the button changes. And the AoE Soul Reaver attack is called Guillotine, which is a cone. Once you've got 50 Shroud
This
Gauge,
look.
it's time to spend
It looks complicated.
I quote, offer your flesh as a vessel to your avatar?
Wow.
You get a whole makeover with glowing red eyes and glowing arms and probably a whole slew of back problems but hey, you do more damage now. Your Soul Reaver and Avatar attacks will now transform into their linear version. So basically,
That's me trying to figure out what things sound like.
Shroud stacks.
How to pronounce
Spend
things.
these on the upgraded Soul Reaver
That shit
attacks,
looks so
it will
amazing.
burn up and allow you to use the upgraded Avatar attacks. So for single target, you will do this. Void Reaping into Cross Reaping, which will burn up 2 Shroud stacks and allow you to use Lemur's Slice. You do that combo twice, and you'll have 1 stack left to use on Communio, the big finisher. Then instead for AoE, you'll do 2 Grim Reaping into a Lemur's Scythe, and you do that combo twice and finish it off with a Communio. And that is the core loop. It may sound a little strange, but once you play it, it's actually very intuitive.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot to do.
I was pushing the wrong buttons, so do as I say and not as I do. But that's not all. You've got an array of tools to help you out. The most important tool is this debuff that needs to be on your targets at all times. It's called Death's Design, of course. It increases the damage that you deal to said target by 10%. Shadow
Wow.
of Death is your single target version of this, and Whirl of Death is your AoE version. I did not keep this up because I'm a big old dummy and I cannot read. Reaper's ranged attack is called Harp, and interestingly, it has a short cast time. Related to that, there's 2 gap closers, Hell's Ingress and Hell's Egress. One of them jumps you forward, the other one jumps you back. And when you use one, the other one changes back to a teleport to bring you back to your Hell's Gate that you left behind. It's called a Hell's Gate. And this will also...
It's called the Hell's Gate.
And Reaper has utility. There's Arcane Crest. It's a shield that you put on yourself that's 10% of your HP and lasts 5 seconds.
Nice.
If it breaks, you get a regen on everybody. So helpful. And this is a fun one. There's Arcane Circle. It's a 3% damage buff for everybody around you.
Wow.
But the real kicker is that they all have 5 seconds to land a weapon skill or a spell. And if they do, they will give you an Immortal Sacrifice stack, which you can have up to 8 of them if everybody does it. Yes, that means you 2 healers. You can spend these Immortal Sacrifice stacks on Plentiful Harvest, which goes up in potency according to how many stacks that you have.
That thing
As long as
looks
you have one
sick.
stack, which you always will, it'll give you 50 Shroud Gauge, so you can immediately go into Avatar Possession mode. And the last thing that you've got is Soul Sow, which allows you to use Harvest Moon. It's a big AoE attack. Soul Sow is instant outside of combat, but it has a long cast time during combat. So you'd probably only be doing this during downtime or, of course, outside of battle. And that is everything for Reaper. I had a freaking blast playing it. It just oozes style in everything that it does. Not to mention that I'm a particular fan of Reapers in general, Winky Face. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Dang. That looks crazy. That looks sick. I don't know. I saw Zeppela. Zeppela said it doesn't have that many positionals. So it's definitely something that I might end up trying it now since they don't have that many positionals. But that looks sick. Just because they ain't got positionals don't mean it's not complicated. And I hope it's not complicated. What is this one? All right, here goes Sage. Now, I heard Sage. I heard this is complicated now.
If tax rate is your issue, we're probably not your state.
Tone deaf and out of touch.
Yeah.
Charlayan must be like one of those non-conflict nations in Gundam, you know, that secretly develop the most advanced weapons, 'cause Sage is a lot like that. This is Sage's job gear. I think it looks pretty snazzy. Reminds me of something Alphino would wear. And
Right.
the sprint animation, the way the new lists follow you around is so freaking cool. And I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna see a bunch of Sages running around in Endwalker. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially. Since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
Nice.
Let's start with the most important thing about any healer. How to DPS. Sage's spell is called Dosis. It's a bunch of laser beams. Then there's also this special ability called Eucrasia that augments certain spells.
Nice.
Dosis is one of them. So when you activate Eucrasia, Dosis changes into a dot that's instant cast.
Oh, they got a dot.
Then for AoE damage, you've got a spammable Discrasia, which is a point-blank AoE around you. Then there's Phlegma, a 510 potency targeted instant AoE with 2 charges. Sage also has its own version of a size called Numa, a 330 potency line AoE that also heals everybody around you and reduces their damage taken by 10% for 20 seconds. What the? And if
Why?
all, there's one more AoE called Toxicon.
Nice.
And that's a Decepticon normally. Targeted instant AoE. This one costs a resource called Adder Sting, which you can hold up to 3 of. You get an Adder Sting from your single target shield being broken. More on that later. Now for Sage's heals. Actually, I kind of also just said what the heals were, since all of those DPS spells will heal also. You could put Cardia on a single target and all of your DPS spells will do a 170 potency heal to
That's
them.
the main thing that stuck out to me.
Double this potency for 10 seconds with Soteria. But okay, I'll go over the actual healer spells if you must know. Sage's base single target heal is called Diagnosis, and its AoE heal is called Prognosis. Well, remember that ability Eucrasia for changing your DPS spell into a dot? Well, it works on these too. When you activate Eucrasia, Diagnosis and Prognosis will change into their shield versions and their instant cast.
Oh, that's kind of not fair.
That will grant you an Adder Sting if...
Wait, that's kind of not fair. So, you took the stances off Astrologian and gave it to the... not the scholar, the sage.
Heal is called Prognosis.
Because he's healing normally, and then like he just said, you could change it into a shield heal.
Well, remember that ability Eucrasia for changing your DPS spell into a dot? Well,
See?
It works on these too. When you activate Eucrasia,
Now he's
Diagnosis and Prognosis will change into their shield versions. And
Oh, that's not fair.
And the shield from Diagnosis is the one that will grant you an Adder Sting if it breaks. But what about shields that you put on people that aren't going to be used up? Well, you've got Pepsi for that. I mean,
Pepsi.
It will eat up the shields from Diagnosis and Prognosis and turn them into an instant heal. And you can do this every 15 seconds. Actually, I haven't even talked about the gauge yet, have I? It has a gauge. It automatically fills up every 20 seconds. The resource that you get is called Adder's Gall, and they are used to cast certain instant heals. Those are as follows. Druo Coal. This is basically Sage's Lustrate. It's 600 potency.
Oh, okay.
Ixo Coal. Basically Sage's Indom, 400 potency, AoE off global. And Caracol, basically Sage's Sacred Soil, reduces damage by 10% for 15 seconds and gives everybody regen. And Toro Coal, this is basically Sage's, wait, this is a new one, 600 potency off global with a damage reduction. And by the way, all of those will restore your MP a bit. So that's it for the Adder's Gall heals.
That's terrible. Yeah, they gonna get hit before the game come out. They already...
It's an AoE regen for 21 seconds on a minute cooldown. And Physis 2, which is a beefier Physis that will also increase your healing spells by 10%. That's on a 3-minute cooldown. Holos is a 300 potency.
That looks amazing.
1-minute cooldown, and it looks freaking cool. Then there's 2 interesting shield cooldowns, Haima and Panhaima. Haima is the single target version. It'll put 5 stacks of a shield on a person, and every time damage is dealt, it will eat up the stacks of the barrier and apply a new barrier. And then whatever is left at the end of the timer will trigger a heal for each stack remaining. And then Pan Haima is the same thing just for AoE. Very interesting.
Wow.
If that wasn't enough, you've got some other utility abilities as well. There's Icarus, of course. It's the Gundam Wings gap closer on a healer, probably because of the point blank AoEs. There's Zoe. It doubles the amount cured by your next healing spell. There's Rizomata, which just gives you 1 stack of Adder's Gall, the blue one. And finally, there's Krasis. It increases your healing magic on everybody by 20%. Notice that there's no DPS utility for Sage. This means that Scholar still has a fighting chance. And that is everything. But either way, Sage is looking really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have any endgame content to try it out in. All I can really do is read the tooltips and cast the spells. But just looking at its kit and seeing how it fits in with the other healers, I think it's going to be really good. And for what it's worth, this is going to be the first healer I level. I mean, come on, it's new Gundam. I got it. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now. So check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch.
Damn. Yo, I already said I was going to play Sage. But it's going to be hard not to enjoy that. Come on. You see how flashy that looks, as well as... Yeah, I still feel bad for the astrologians. Because if you going to give this to the Sage, right? Why not let the astrologians keep their two stances? But, you know, hey, I don't mind. I don't really like Astro. So, yep, who knows? Red Mage.
Hey, Gary. You been up there all night?
Yeah, just keeping watch.
You need Simply Safe's new wireless outdoor security camera. It has a 140-degree field of view.
Shut up. So I have no idea, like, why would they take that away from astrologians? That's kind of not fair.
Really cool new toys. Also, hey, I'm Melian over here. Anyway, this is
That
its
outfit
new
looks
job
dope.
gear, in the perfect shade of Ver Red. First, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
All right, Red Mage, guys, let's go. Where my mages at?
Red Mage's core rotation remains the same, but with some upgrades and a couple additions, along with some quality of life upgrades. It got a new barrier ability that reduces everybody's damage taken by 10% while increasing healing actions by 5%.
Nice.
It's aptly named Magic Barrier. Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder were upgraded to Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder 3, which came along with some beefy new animations and increased potencies. And I didn't think the Mad Lads would do it, but we got a third finisher after Scorch. So Red Mage's finisher is now Ver Holy or Ver Flare, followed by Scorch, and then a 750 potency Resolution. And yeah, that's right, Ver Holy, Ver Flare, and Scorch all got new animations because they're all AoEs now. Manification will now give you 50 black and white mana instead of doubling it. This means that you can start a fight with the melee combo immediately. It also grants you 6 Manification stacks that are instead expended on each GCD that you use during it. So it's just enough to do your 3 melee combo and your 3-part spell finisher. And the melee combo was overall reduced in cost. You only need 50 to execute the full combo. And this leads to some jolly good fun, where you can start with a 100-100 and Manification ready, and you can do 3 melee combos in a row without needing to cast any other spell whatsoever. Yeah, I'm sure all of your melee raid members will love that. I know I do. And after it, you only have to do like 2 or 3 more spells to do another one. I mentioned some quality of life. Displacement and engagement are now the same potency.
That's actually really nice.
Off of the edge. Style points are important after all. They also have 2 charges, which presents even more opportunity for setback flipping. Enchanted Reprise was buffed a bit. So
that's actually really nice. That's not mine, right?
Need to move.
I'm pretty sure I'm not on Discord. That's not mine, right? Okay, the guild is in, but that's not me. Okay. I had to make sure I wasn't like in there or whatever. Okay.
for extended periods of time, and acceleration now has 2 charges. That means even more guaranteed procs and even more melee combos. Woo! And last but not least, we've been asking for this since Red Mage's inception, but Embolden will now increase everybody's overall damage dealt instead of just physical. This is
nice.
Good. And that's the only thing about Red Mage. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos.
I tell you, he's so goofy. I love his videos.
So check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Okay, I heavily underestimated Red Mage. They are looking really, really good at 90 now. I definitely underestimated them.
Hey.
Hey,
Ready for that 9:30 meeting?
almost.
Wake up.
Now classified as a pure healer along with White Mage, as opposed to the shield healers, Scholar, and Sage. As such, it has changed.
Sage is not only one though.
Very cool and interesting ways. But
Is
first,
that
I have a
Urianger
disclaimer. I was
outfit?
sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build.
That looks like Urianger's outfit.
Everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
All right, here we go.
Firstly, your DPS spells. Your spammable spell is called Fall Malefic, since it went up to Malefic 5 and we can't have that. And your dodge is still called Combust 3. And then Gravity was upgraded to Gravity 2, which is a super cool animation. I mean, look at it. But we're not here for DPS, right? We're here for the healing. Let's go over the card changes, shall we? Draw now has 2 charges. Redraw is no longer 3 charges, but you can always use it for each card that you draw. One time. You can undraw still as well or play the card. Then there's Minor Arcana, which will draw either a Lord or a Lady. You don't lose your currently drawn card to do this. It is a separate mechanic altogether. It's on a 1-minute cooldown, and then you can play that card using a separate action called Crown Play. Lady is an AoE, and Lord is an AoE attack. I tried for like 10 minutes to draw a Lord and I never did, so this is what the Lord looks like. Since Astro is considered a pure healer, Aspected Benefic and Aspected Helios will both apply the regen always. And then when you activate Neutral Sect, which is your special big heal mode, it will add an additional shield to those in addition to the 20% heal.
They didn't completely take out the shields.
Section now has 2 charges and includes a shield boost. And Collective Unconsciousness is the 10% damage mitigation and a regen. The seal system works in a very different way too. Firstly, Divination no longer requires the seals. It's a flat 6% damage buff to everybody for 15 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. Means you can use it in the opener right away. Instead, the seals are used on a new ability called Astrodyne. It'll grant an effect depending on which seals it consumed, and you can get all 3 effects if you have all 3 seals. They are as follows. There's gradually restore your own MP, give a 10% haste buff essentially,
nice.
Give a 5% damage buff. This is very interesting. I think I like this more than using it up on Divination. Then you've got a new ability, Exaltation. It's a 10% damage mitigation on a target that will also do a 500 potency heal at the end of the 8-second duration.
Okay, so they still can do some sort of shields. So that's pretty good.
Healer's got a special ability on a minute cooldown for tank busters. And finally, there's Macro Cosmos. This one is super cool. It's a 250 potency AoE attack, but it also grants Macro Cosmos to everybody for 15 seconds. During this, half of all of the damage that is taken is compiled. And then when you activate it again, or when the timer runs out, it will heal up for that compiled damage.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, that will do it for Astrology. I would say it's like 50% new, so, look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endworker job changes are out now.
That's really cool. Okay.
Below to watch the next one.
Damn, yo, they doing such a good-ass job. Okay, that is really cool. All right, here we go, boys. Here we go. It's the Black Mage, y'all. I wanted to be a Black Mage for this expansion. Let's go. What we got?
Want to skip this jingle? With NJM, you can.
No.
I just did.
Black Mage is power overwhelming.
Dang, look at that outfit.
Even more power. Man, it must be good to be the main job of the game's producer-director because Black Mage just keeps getting better and better. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix.
Look at that staff, yo.
Everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially. Since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. First things first, Enochian is no longer a separate action, but a trait that activates as long as you're in Umbral Ice or Astral Fire.
Nice.
Not only that, but it gets increased to be a permanent 20% damage buff. You have Raging
Wow.
Strikes. You can never be separated from your dear Eno-chan again. Never again will you be apart. Mana Font also gets reduced to a 2-minute cooldown, and you can have 2 charges of Sharp Cast for even more procs. And do you like Foul and Xenoglossy? Yeah, you do. Well, here's some more. Amplifier is an ability on a 2-minute cooldown that gives you a free Polyglot stack. Hello, Xenoglossy in the And then also at level 80, Foul becomes instant cast. But let's talk about the most important change, shall we? Paradox. You get Paradox whenever you switch from Astral Fire 3 to Umbral Ice. Or conversely, when you switch from Umbral Ice 3 with 3 Umbral Hearts into Astral Fire. Once you have it, Paradox is used instead of Fire 1 to extend your stance timer. It's also 510 potency, so you know there's that. This is the main change to your single target rotation and will encourage the use of Blizzard 4 for all you greedy speed demons out there. The rotation that changed the most actually is the AoE rotation. It got super souped up. Fire 2 is upgraded to High Fire 2.
And you know that's good because I always thought the AoE was lacking.
Yeah, that's right. I said the words Blizzard 2 in 2021. It's a targeted AoE now, and you actually use it. High Fire 2 and Blizzard 2 are both AoEs that will grant you Astral Fire 3 or Umbral Ice 3. So you'll be using those to change your stance in AoE. Now, High Fire 2 will also give you Enhanced Flare, as long as you cast it while you're already in Astral Fire. And that will increase the potency of the next flare that you cast. Freeze is still in here, so don't worry. It doesn't grant you Umbral Ice 3 anymore, but it does give you 3 Umbral Hearts. So it's kind of like the Blizzard 4 for AoE. I'm sure you will end up using that to get multiple flares off. But hey, I didn't have a calculator at the media tour, so I don't really make the rules here. And that's Black Mage. They somehow expanded upon something that was already perfect. Again. Thank you so much.
Again.
All of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link.
This happens if you're bad. Oh, his timer ran out. Bro, oh my gosh, this just looks amazing, dude. All right, here we go, bards. Archers, anybody?
You are about to meet the greatest warriors the world has ever known. Legendary.
Oh, Bard. The original ranged job. The old guy who walked uphill both ways through Foe's Requiem and has made it all the way to Endwalker. And despite everything, it's still Bard. You could also say it's the only dot-based job now. So if you missed the dots from Summoner for some reason, Bard will open arms. I'm sure of that. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot
the
of
outfit is definitely nice.
All of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
I love the black and white. That is nice. I kind of wanted something like that, though.
Song duration is now 45 seconds instead of 30.
Thank you.
Cooldown. Also, your dots are now 45 seconds instead of 30. This means you'll be staying in each song a bit longer than before. And Bard has a new damage utility. When you get through each of your 3 songs, you earn a Coda sticker for each one. And when you get all 3, you can execute Radiant Finale for its full effect, a 5% damage buff for everybody for 15 seconds.
Nice.
Not Requiem anymore, but this'll do. Bloodletter now has 2 charges. This is great. It means you won't accidentally overwrite Bloodletter procs anymore. This is something that even back in A Realm Reborn we would have won. Not only that, but Raging Strikes is now on a minute cooldown. But as a trade-off, Barrage is now a 2-minute cooldown. Oh yeah, and battle voice is also a 2-minute cooldown. Yeah, everything is gonna line up so much better on Bard. Your quick knock AoE is upgraded to Ladon's Bite, and it looks pretty spiffy if I do say so myself. And you have a new finisher. If you use Apex Arrow after your soul voice gauge is 80 or higher, you'll get access to Blast Arrow, a new 500 potency line AoE. And here's a quality of life upgrade. When you proc Straight Shot Ready, it'll last for 30 seconds instead of 10 now.
Nice.
The other range, Troubadour is now at 90 seconds. And that is everything for Bard. Honestly, it's actually looking pretty great. The whole kit seems to synergize much better with itself. So be strong, last remaining dot job in 14. Thank you so much for watching. And all of my videos on the Edwalker.
I love his personality.
Playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
I love his personality. He is so funny to me. All right, here we go, guys. This is my baby. This is my baby of Scholars. Let's go.
Scholar, the original shield healer. While everybody else is going to be playing with the shiny new Sage, you instead are going to be a dedicated Scholar because you're educated and you have a book. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potency.
This is probably going to be my first 90 healer.
A lot of them changed throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Firstly, the DPS spells. You've got a new single target spam. It's called Broil 4. You still have energy drain that'll use up your Aetherflow stacks, which is very important, and your dot is still Biolysis. Then there's a new AoE spell called Art of War 2. This is an instant cast spam.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was going to be.
GCD shields were super buffed. Adlo will now be a 180% shield, and Sucker is
nice.
a 60% shield. Scholar is going to still be the big with 2 Gs shield healer. And not only that, Deployment Tactics, the one that spreads your Adlo shield to everybody, is on a 90-second cooldown now. You're going to be able to utilize this for way more mechanics over the duration of a fight, so it's super good. Then there's a new instant heal called Protraction. It increases the maximum HP of a target by 10% and restores that amount. It also increases the healing actions on that target by 10%, and you
put that right on your tank.
It's going to be
Word
for tank busters. And then there's the brand new toy that everybody's talking about, Expedient. This will give everybody sprint and a 10% damage mitigation for 20
more defense. Let's go.
But in all seriousness, this is a super unique ability, and there will likely be strats around.
I said it. I said it.
Lucio. Everybody loves Lucio. A lot of the mechanics in our game.
I said it.
Movement. So
it looked bad during the showcase.
That automatically makes it powerful. Fey Blessing no longer costs Fairy Gauge, which means the only thing that your Fairy Gauge is going to be used for is Fey Union, otherwise known as Sage Mode, which actually brings up one of the differences between Scholar and Sage. The Fairy can heal either everybody, or it could switch over to a single targeted healing burst. Sage, on the other hand, can only do the single targeted healing with their Cardia. The Fairy is very powerful, and it's part of what makes Scholar a Scholar. And not to mention, the Fairy seemed much more responsive. I tested this out by alternating using the Fairy GCDs and seeing if it would immediately do it, and it seemed like it was. So time will tell on that, but we'll see what it feels like on live servers. And that will do it for Scholar. I'm really wondering what the healer meta is going to end up.
Wow, look at us.
Let's not forget one important thing. People like doing damage, and Scholar increases the party's damage.
Change stratagem.
What about that, huh? Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Bro, I freaking said it. While everybody else was yelling about Scholar dead, Scholar dead. Everybody was yelling Scholar dead, Scholar dead, Scholar dead. I was saying, they're probably putting things in there that we can't see. I knew it, bro. I'm glad, bro. We is not dead, bro. We are not dead. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Dancer.
And it solidified itself as the core element to the Protect the President strategy, otherwise known as Buff the Samurai. In Endwalker, it took out some new tools to help it do just that. along with some healing utility. This is its new job gear, by the way. I particularly think the bow in my hair makes me look extra fancy. But first, I have a disclaimer.
I actually like that.
I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant.
I actually like that a lot. Oh my gosh, that looks cool.
The jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Firstly, there was a quality of life change to the AoE actions. When you're dancing, the AoE actions will also turn into steps. This will ensure that you can do steps even if you're currently on your AoE hotbar. Also, your GCD procs changed a bit. The single target combo used to only proc your single target attacks, and likewise for AoE, but now they will proc both. You can only use one or the other, of course, but it provides an on-ramp to quickly switch between your single target or AoE, which is pretty neat. There's also a new way of generating Esprit. Whenever you use your proc stuff like Reverse Cascade, Fountain Fall, Rising Windmill, or Blade Shower, you get 10 Esprit. And you've got a new combo action after executing Technical Finish called Tilana. It's a 360 potency AoE, and it also grants Standard Finish and Esprit to you and your dance partner. There's a new fan dance called Fan Dance 4, which is really just a cool bird AoE.
That looks amazing. It is an AoE, I thought so.
Can only be executed by using Flourish. So once a minute. Flourish also changed a bit since of the way the procs work now. When you use up your single target procs, it'll eat up the AoE ones as well. You can't use both. And then after Devilment, there's a combo action called Starfall Dance, which I never actually used here because I'm a big old dummy. But this is what it is. This is 600 potency, guaranteed crit direct hit in a
nice.
You can only use that once every 2 minutes, but that's big. Shield Samba also got reduced to a 90-second cooldown to be in line with Machinist and Bard. Now, improvisation changed a lot. It will now give you a stack called Rising Rhythm every 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 4 stacks. And you also give everybody an AoE regen. You can stop using improvisation with improvised finish, and it'll consume your Rising Rhythm stacks to create a shield on everybody. The shield goes up to a 10% of max HP if you were at 4 stacks when you used it. Interestingly, you'll also get the regen as soon as you activate improvisation, so you could even just flicker it on and off just to get the regen if that's all you wanted. And yep, that is everything for Dancer.
Dancer's basically another healer, a DPS healer.
Job changes are out now. So
That's really cool.
Link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
I love that bird. I love that bird. I said it too. It's like that is too big to not be an AoE. What are we on? How many we got left? We got a couple left. Let's go. All right, let's keep pushing. We got a couple more to go. Let's keep pushing. All right, Dragoon mains, here we go.
This is what virtual care with doctors and
That's just so iconic and awesome and pointy.
Look at that outfit.
Was more iconic, awesome, pointy things. Speaking of, look at the job gear. It is so pointy. I feel like I'm gonna get impaled just looking at it. It's perfect for when a dragon tries to eat you. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build and everything that you see.
I'm such a simple guy, guys. I really am.
That includes potencies, especially since a lot of them change
looks
throughout
amazing.
all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Dragoon's rotation was already pretty streamlined in
nice,
but now it runs like a sports car. You've got new finishers, new tools, and more quality of life. Firstly, Blood of the Dragon is no longer an ability, but a permanent trait. This
nice.
You get it for free, and you can never drop your Dragon Balls. I mean eyes. You don't go blue all the time anymore, but hey, that just makes Life of the Dragon more special. Full Thrust was upgraded to Heaven's Thrust, and Chaos Thrust was upgraded to Chaotic Spring. This
wow.
with potency increases, but more importantly, they look cool. There are still positionals on Wheeling Thrust and Fang and Claw, but you don't need to hit them in order to unlock Raiden Thrust, so that's pretty neat. But that's not all. When you execute Raiden Thrust, you obtain a Dragon Scale. It's actually called a First Mind's Focus, but it looks like a dragon scale, so I'm gonna call it that. Anyway, you get 2 of these dragon scales, as in complete your 2 separate rotations, and boom, you get the double dragon attack, Wormwind Thrust, an off-global line AoE. Dragoon's AoE rotation got a combo finisher treatment as well. Finisher 3-part AoE combo, and you unlock a new AoE that replaces Doomspike called Draconian Fury. which will also give you a dragon scale. And you remember the 10% damage buff you used to get from Disembowel? Well, now it's called Power Surge, and you get it from doing your AoE combo too. That's right, you can rejoice now. And in fact, whenever you complete either your AoE combo or your single target combo, you'll end up having both Raiden Thrust and Draconian Fury ready, so it provides an on-ramp to switch between single target and AoE combos easier. There's a couple other changes, like Lance Charge is now a 10% buff, but it's on a minute cooldown, so you'll be using it more often. Along with Battle Litany being 2 minutes instead of 3 and for 15 seconds. And Spine Shadow Dive gets 2 charges now, so there's even more chances to die from animation lock. Since Blood of the Dragon is a trait now, there's no more timer on your bar, like on your gauge. They could probably add Power Surge as the timer to the gauge if they really wanted to, since that's also 30 seconds. Would people even like that? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you, Dragoons. Anyway, that's Dragoon. I hope you like it. Thank you so
That's
much.
really good. I may go back to playing with Dragoon again.
Check out the playlist
My
in the link in
Dragoon
the
is currently level 70.
Okay, bye.
That's really cool. Okay, I like that. That's really freaking cool. Dark Knight is another one.
Earn your degree faster at Purdue University.
Dark Knight was another one that seemed like it didn't change much. But once again, I think it's something that's going to happen for utility. So we're about to find out.
Shadowbringers, you know, Dark Knight had its time in the sun, or darkness maybe, rather. And even though this expansion is called Endwalker, Dark
Wow, it has a tail.
is actually called Shadowbringers 2. This is its job gear. I think it checks all of the edgy boxes, you know, on account of the fact that boxes have 4 edges. And I like the one tattered crotch cape in particular. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs.
Guys, yo, this looks so,
anyway,
I don't know what to
let's take a
pick.
look. Firstly, and most importantly, Dark Knight has a new move, aptly named Shadowbringer. You can be the Shadowbringer. It's a 600 potency AoE with 2 charges, and you get 1 every minute. Not only that, but your Simulacrum also gets the Shadowbringer, so please enjoy. Dark Knight also got the tank spam attack rework. Delirium is no longer a 10-second duration, but will instead give you 3 stacks of Delirium, and you can spend these stacks on either Blood Spiller or Quietus. Reason it's 3 instead of 5 now is because it's a minute cooldown, down from 90 seconds. Salted Earth is no longer a ground-targeted AoE, but an AoE immediately around you. This required an animation change, of course, where you punch the ground, and this is very important. Not only that, but after you use it, it changes into its combo action. Salt and
it has a combo now.
Dark Knight is very salty and edgy. Salt of Darkness will make your Salted Earth pulse for a 500 potency attack, whole bunch of salt. Now, since the other tanks stole Dark Knight's homework when, you know, they all copied the Blackest Night, Dark Knight has 2 of them instead. The new one is called Ablation. It's got 2 charges and can be cast on yourself or a party member for a 10% damage mitigation. And actually, your Simulacrum also gets a new buff. All of its potencies are increased by 300, so you could say it's stronger than you. Here's a nice little thing. When you unmend, it'll knock 5 seconds off of your plunge cooldown. Please do not spam unmend in order to get unlimited plunges. Just because you can, doesn't mean that you should. And that about does it for Dark Knight. I hope you enjoy. Go have fun throwing salt everywhere and being the Shadowbringer. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I think Dark Knight job changes are really nice. That was good. I love that Blackest Night is getting a partner in Sacred Sword. What is it's Sacred Sword, right? Sacred Sword, you're getting a partner. That's dope. Salted. Let's go help people customize salted, whatever he just said it was called. I'm terrible at remembering names. To this day, I still don't remember many names of Scholar.
The Arch Enemy of Benediction. It was released in
The Arch Enemy of Benediction.
But how will it fare in Endwalker? Well, for starters, the job gear looks like Squall, and that's already winning in my book. But first, I have a disclaimer.
I mean, everybody
I'm
wanted him
sponsored by
because of
Square
Squirrel.
Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
Let's go. My first level 80 tank.
First off, you've got 3 cartridges now, and
Yep.
Bloodfest will fill up all 3, and there's a good reason for that. You have a 2 cartridge spender in that of Double Down, a 1200 potency.
We don't have to
AoE.
build towards
It's a
that?
1 minute cooldown, so you better make sure you have 2 cartridges.
Wow, I thought we had to build towards that.
Upgraded to Heart of Corundum, which adds a 15% damage mitigation for 4 seconds and a buff that will
Tank
heal
Buster,
that person
okay.
if their HP drops below 50% or the timer wears off. Pretty cool. Continuation has been continued. Whenever you use Burst Strike, you will become ready to blast. Changing continuation.
Nice.
Hyper Velocity, a new attack, OGCD. Speaking about continuation and the Gnashing Fane combo, Gnashing Fane is now an all-in-one button. It will change into Savage Claw and Wicked Talon as you go through the combo and use continuations. Very nice for freeing up space on your hotbar. Also, Aurora now has charges. You could hold 2 of them. And actually,
Wow.
believe it or not, that's it. Gunbreaker was already built like a tank. And it didn't need any more changes. It feels buttery smooth, and that's a good thing. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, so they didn't do much for it, but
Changes are out now.
okay.
The playlist in the
So I ain't got too much to learn with my Gunbreaker. I ain't got too much to learn. Machinists? Oh, Machinists don't look like they got much. It's only 2 minutes.
Got the special treatment rework in Shadowbringers, so it was already in a really great spot. In Endwalker, they expanded on what already worked, so it just feels even better. And the new
Okay.
gear, well, it looks like a Machinist to me. You even got a little utility belt, so you don't have to ask anybody where your wrench went. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix
I love the
to
goggle.
try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. So firstly, your spread shot now becomes scatter gun, which is basically just
Shotgun.
a shotgun.
Word.
Congratulations on your new shotgun. Then there's chainsaw. It's a 5 potency line AoE on about a minute cooldown. You get to use this whenever it's up, just like Drill and Air Anchor. This also gives you 20 battery gauge, so you know what that means. More queens. She's running on Energizer batteries now. Reassemble also has 2 charges now. So in regards to buffing either Drill or Air Anchor, I offer you this. Why not both?
Word.
It's a new finisher called Crowned Collider, a truly marvelous name.
That's what I'm saying. I knew that was new.
Potency finisher. What more could you ask for? Tactician was reduced to a 90-second cooldown in line with the other range, so that's pretty neato. And that is it for Machinist. It really didn't need much changes after the Shadowbringers rework. So yeah, go have fun with your chainsaw. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out.
Alright, White Mage, let's go. Where my healers at?
Okay, bye.
That's me, I'm a healer main. Where my healers at?
24 grams of whole grains.
That made Machinist look more fun too. I never leveled the Machinist though. Uh-oh.
White Mage. White Mage. Classic White Mage.
I like that outfit.
It's
That's
that
gonna look
friend
pretty
you can
on my
always
female
rely
character.
on to be there for you and raise you up when you're down. You know, because they were too busy spamming glare in the first place. First, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try.
That's gonna be pretty on a female character.
And everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. For DPS, you've got Glare 3 now. Yeah, Glare got super buffed because it just skipped right past 2 and on to 3. And then for your dot, you still have Dia. Not only that, but Holy also jumps straight from 2 to Holy 3. And this is Holy 3. It's very shiny.
It's
got
pretty.
An ability called Aqua Veil. Fluid Aura is gone and deleted, but it has a spiritual upgrade to Aqua Veil. It's a 15% damage mitigation that goes on you or a party member and lasts for 8 seconds. This is pretty cool, because you can give it to a tank as an extra cooldown when they forget to pop one of their own, you know, for a tank buster. The level 90 skill is called Lily Bell. You place a healing blossom at a targeted location for 15 seconds, and you get 5 stacks called Lily Bell applied to yourself. Anytime that you are dealt damage, one Lilybell stack will be consumed by the Healing Blossom to do a 400 potency AoE around it. And then if for some reason by the end of the timer there are still Lilybell stacks remaining, it'll eat up the rest of them to do a 200 potency AoE for each remaining stack.
That's pretty cool.
Good for raid AoE mechanics that fire off a bunch of consecutive AoEs. Then there's a pretty significant change to Thin Air. It used to make all of your spells free for 12 seconds and on a 2-minute cooldown. Now it's a 1-minute cooldown with 2 charges, but it will only affect the next spell that you cast. So if you have 2 charges, that means 2 free raises guaranteed. And then speaking of
that's not bad.
Benison now has 2 as well, which means you could put Divine Benison on both of the things.
Yeah, I pointed that out in the trailer.
Both forgot to pop a cooldown. And that should do it for White Mage. Those are all the changes. Thank you so much for watching, and all of
Blood for the Blood Lily.
Job changes are out now. So
Blood for the Blood Lily.
Link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
I like that. I like that new holy. That is pretty. That is pretty. All right, guys. Here we go. Freaking Paladin.
Paladin. Endwalker's star holy boy. I know why you're here. You want to see unlimited blade works, don't you?
And they gave him the outfit from the trailer. Nice.
A lot more cool stuff than just that. This cape is one of those things. Seems like it would look really good if you were to just wear that on the moon or something. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Holy Spirit and a Holy Circle will now heal you. Yeah.
Why?
Heal everybody when it procs. Well, not you. You don't get it. And it's not just a little heal. All of them are a 400 potency heal to you.
Oh, yeah.
Too, because I think all the sages might forget to heal you besides, their automatic DPS healing. Sheltron has been upgraded to Holy Sheltron, which still does the blocks, but it's also a 15% damage mitigation and a regen. The regen is called Knight's Benediction. Again, I think Paladin is sick of healers not healing. Actually, Intervention will also apply a 10% damage mitigation and a regen to your target. So Paladin thinks they could just be the healer instead, do their job for them. Spirits Within has finally been upgraded. We've had it since we were born. Now,
Cat wasn't dying before.
But this time it's also...
Okay, for a second. Now, my brother Cat, he plays Paladin now. And it was hard to kill him now. It's hard to kill him now because he knows the character very well. You giving him regions and self-heal. He's really not going to die. And oh my, this is great. This is great. I love it.
So in AoE. Now
it's making me look at them now.
Requiescat is no longer some kind of timer. Instead, it'll give you 5 stacks of Requiescat that can be spent on your magic attacks. This ensures that you will never miss one due to ping or skill speed issues. Also, they will always be instant speed and always increase your magic damage by 100%. Now, since you have 5 stacks, you can use 4 of them on Holy Spirits or Holy Circles, and then go into the real reason why we are all here. The new Confiteor combo. You only need 1 Requiescat to use it, but it will eat up all of your stacks if there are more, so don't let it do that. It's a 4-part combo, and all of them replace Confiteor. It's Confiteor into Blade of Faith, into Blade of Truth, into Blade of Valor. The 3 blade attacks will all restore your MP, and Blade of Valor will apply an 80 potency AoE dot.
That's insane.
So do not overwrite it, like I did right there. Oh yeah, and it is now a 20 Lalafell distance instead of 15. Yes, 1 bomb is exactly 1 Lalafell in distance. And that is Paladin. I'm gonna have to give it up to Paladin. They've really come a far way from
they sure did.
And I think this is the best iteration yet. What a way to close out the Hydaelyn and Zodiark era. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the
That
description
is
below to watch the next
insane.
one. Okay, bye.
Okay, now for the class. Oh, I almost skipped it. Okay, cause I saw a monk. But all right, Samurai, let's go. I think this is my second DPS that I got.
At Capella University, we know the world is.
I think this is my second DPS that I got. And I really didn't think this was gonna take this long, so I'm gonna have to do Dofus tomorrow. I'm not doing it today.
That's right. Ah yes, samurai. So desu ka.
So
right.
desu
I know
ka.
a couple Japanese phrases, and that qualifies me to be your senpai today and teach you
to be your senpai
Zaburedo.
today.
Anyway, this is its job gear, which looks a lot like more traditional Lord Samurai attire, so that's pretty cool. It's got a cool collar, and that means it's really good. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker.
Dang, guys, what am I gonna do with myself, bro?
Significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look. Samurai got charges for days. Tsubame Geishi and Meikyo Shisui both got 2 charges. This is very, very, very good. Iki Shoten is now a 2-minute cooldown instead of 1 minute, but it gives you access to the Dimensional Blade Slash, known as Ugi Namikiri, which combos into Namikiri at a whopping 1200 potency. Oh yeah, and it's a Kone AoE. If Shoha was you get Shoha 2. Return of the Shoha. It's an AoE version for use in your AoE situation.
Nice.
3 or more targets. Please use your AoE skills on AoE. Thank you. You also get a new AoE combo off of Fuga called Hyosetsu.
Yeah, I see that one.
The Setsu sticker, otherwise known as that green one. This will provide an AoE avenue of getting any of the 3 stickers you need. Tsubame Geishi no longer gives you another meditate stack, but Ogi Namikiri does, and Shoha's potency was greatly increased to make up for that as well. Another little change to Third Eye, it will no longer grant you the Eyes Open buff, but it will instead give you 10 Kenki gauge. As such, Hisatsu Seigan is now deleted. Goodbye. And that was everything that Samurai got. There are various changes around, but I wouldn't worry about those without seeing any of the new damage calculations. Samurai is still going to be the tippy top of the DPS, so don't you worry. Thank you so much for watching. All job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch.
I like that we got more AoEs now. I like the new AoEs. Those look cool. The AoEs look like something I want to do on single target. That's crazy.
Monkey, this job got some pretty.
I will never have this class. I will never have this class. And let me tell you why. It's fine to have positionals. It's fine to have it. But this class has too many positionals. To make it worse, like, especially after doing Hades last night, there's no way I can focus on the positionals while trying to remember where I need to go to avoid getting damaged in extremes, to avoid. I can't do it, bro. I really can't. I did the raid last night as a dancer. And even then I died because, sometimes I took the time out to do the 4-button dance thing. And while I'm looking at to see which buttons I got to hit next, I'll probably get cleaved by something, or I don't see the mechanic coming, or I don't read the skill that the boss is doing. I'm getting killed. There's no way I can do all these positionals while trying to. No, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I can't do it.
Big changes, and it's about time. Monk players have had to deal with a lot of topsy-turvy stuff over the years, and it looks like it's gonna be in a great spot for Endwalker. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
I always did like that outfit.
Firstly, Monk has instant transmission. It's called Thunderclap and has 3 charges. Such mobility. Let's talk about the big change, Masterful Blitz. When you use Perfect Balance, which is on a 40-second cooldown by the way, and gives you 3 stacks of Perfect Balance, you will gain Beast Chakra, which is either Oppo, Curl, or Raptor, depending on which weapon skill you spent the Perfect Balance stack on. Then you spend those Beast Chakra on Masterful Blitz, which will change into a different skill depending on how many Beast Chakra types that you got. Kind of like Mudra's, but the order of the Beast Chakra doesn't matter, just the different amount of types. They are as follows. All one type is Elixir Field, a 600 potency AoE, and that'll give you a Lunar Nadi resource. With With 2 types of Beast Chakra, you'll get Celestial Revolution, a 450 potency attack, and it'll give you whichever Nadi that you are missing. And then with 3 different types of Beast Chakra, it'll be Rising Phoenix, a 700 potency AoE that gives you a Solar Nadi. Well, what is the Lunar and Solar Nadi for? If you have all 3 types of Beast Chakra and both Lunar and Solar Nadis, then Masterful Blitz will become Phantom Rush, a 950 potency AoE attack.
Damn! And that's AoE!
Fist, which lets you use a weapon skill regardless of form after. This is such a cool mechanic, and it happens pretty often too, because you'll be doing it every 40 seconds. Now, overall, there are no more fist stances, but there is Riddle of Fire and Riddle of Earth still there, and you get a new one, Riddle of Wind, which will reduce your auto attack delay by 50% for 15 seconds, and that's on a 90-second cooldown. The positional requirements were also removed for True Strike and Twin Snakes. So Monk still has a lot of positionals, but it's not everything. Brotherhood will now guarantee that you get a chakra whenever a party member does a weapon skill or cast a spell. And Arm of the Destroyer will get upgraded to Shadow of the Destroyer, a 140 potency AoE, and it's a guaranteed crit. And that is it for Monk. The biggest change is definitely to Masterful Blitz mechanic and add some cool interaction to the rotation. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay.
And all of my videos on the
So
job changes are out.
they took out two positionals, but they still got a lot of positionals. if they can, oh my gosh. Well, I'm not telling them to do it, but if I can get to a point where I ain't got to worry about too many positionals, then I'll try it. Ninja is another one. They got a decent amount of positionals, I think. I think I only got my ninja to 60, so that's not even that far. So I don't even know how many positionals a ninja really got, but I'm hoping it's not a lot, because I did find them fun. It's also the
Naruto Hodo. This is Naruto Hodo.
It's also the 3 gens that I have an issue with.
This is Ninja. Ninja does mudras. Or if you play it like
Mudra.
Ninja makes bunnies on top of their head. And yeah, this is Ninja's gear. I think it always looks really cool. I like the chain.
I really like this
Trick
one.
Attack is still in the game. Okay, moving on. But first, I have a disclaimer.
I really
Responsible
like
Square
that
Enix
one.
to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially. Since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs, I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
I actually like that song.
Means end of dots because Shadowfang was removed. Goodbye, dot. There is a new GCD, Huraijin. The important part of this is that it grants Hutan. You probably don't want to do this instead of Armor Crush, since Armor Crush is higher potency, but it provides an on-ramp if you ever drop Hutan, or maybe some other big brain strats that I don't know about. Assassination is different. It's like Dream Within a Dream, and then it becomes Dream Within a Dream. Fake it till you make it. Alien Edge and Armor Crush will now grant you 15 Ninki gauge, so that's pretty neat. Mace Sweet will now not only eat up Suiton to increase your Ninki gauge, but it will increase Babakakra's potency to 400. And your Bunshin dude unlocked a new attack. It's called Phantom Kamaitachi. It sends your shadow to do a 550 potency.
550,
yeah,
nice.
It's a ranged attack. And if Raiton wasn't already cool enough, it's got a 3-part combo now. You've got Raiton into Fort Raiju into Fleeting Raiju.
Nice.
High potency, and both of them are gap closers. Yeah. And then there's one last new skill, Hollow Nozuchi, a triggered ability. When you have your Doton out already, and then you do your AoE combo, it will trigger your Doton to pulse with snakes for 100 potency, and that's spammable. It'll happen every time you finish your 1-2 combo. And that is everything for Ninja. My favorite part about it is definitely that new Raiton combo. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my
I like the
videos on
snakes.
Worker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Word, that's crazy. I like the snakes. Is that all of them? Oh, yep, we got it. Oh, we got one more, guys. So this is it. This is the final one, and then we're gonna call it
Warrior Smash, and it smashed good. I think if you like playing Warrior, you're gonna still like playing Warrior. And if you stop playing Warrior before, well, maybe all of the self-healing that it got will bring you back. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
Here we go.
Firstly, and most importantly, Onslaught has 3 charges now. Warrior
Nice.
is the first tank to ever get a gap closer, and so it is asserting its dominance over the other tanks by learning how to do more of them faster. Some of the damage stuff changed, like the Storm's Eye damage buff. It's now called Surging Tempest. I don't know why. Warrior got the same stack treatment as the other tanks. You'll get 3 stacks of inner release, which will allow you to use beast gauge actions for free.
Nice.
And also guarantee that all of them are crit direct hits, of course. And that too will extend your Surging Tempest damage buff. Now for all the healing stuff. Shake It Off will now heal, in addition to the shield that it gives.
Why? That's crazy.
Now also add a 10% damage mitigation for 4 seconds and a 400 potency shield. Warrior is a scholar now, and equal
Word.
now give yourself a 200 potency regen. And Raw Intuition is now a 10% damage mitigation, but it will also restore HP for each weapon skill that you land at 400 freaking potency.
That is
Then level 82,
insane.
it becomes Blood Wedding. Yeah, Blood Wedding, and it adds a 400 potency shield. Man, what the? Warrior is just a healer. There's a new AoE version of Upheaval called Orogeny, and neither of them cost Beast Gauge anymore, so they were just a 30-second cooldown off global now. And finally, at level 90, you get Primal Rend. This is a guaranteed crit direct hit AoE at 700 frickin' potency. It can only be executed after using inner release, but it does not consume your inner release stacks. So that's good. And it's a gap closer with a 20 Lalafell distance. And that'll do it for Warrior. It got so much mitigation and healing, it's crazy.
That is
Thank you so much for watching.
insane.
On the Endwalker
Oh
channel.
my
So
gosh.
check out the playlist and the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
That's crazy. Alright, so that's insane.
You want some pizza? Yeah, and ranch.
Alright, so that's it. That's everything I wanted to talk about today with Final Fantasy, guys. Yeah, so what class you guys think y'all gonna play? Cause yeah, Yoshi P also gave out a lot of things, so I'm gonna let that sit up here as we close this out. But yo, like Warrior looks amazing. I was thinking about the Paladin because the self-sustain, and I can use that. But now Warrior is like, hold up, bro. Don't forget about me, bro. Like, yo, Warrior wildin'. Oh man, it's crazy. All these classes look amazing, bro. I don't know who to pick. I keep looking up because, you know, that's where the chat and stuff is. But I don't know who to pick out this. I was saying from the teaser trailer of the classes that I was going to go Black Mage because things go boom. And there's more difficulty because, you know, Black Mages got to stand still a lot. And then I was thinking about doing Sage because Scholar is a given. I don't need to tell nobody I'm going to play Scholar. That's a given. I didn't care if they was dead. If they was dead, I was still going to play Scholar. So Scholar is a given. The tank, I was thinking about continuing the Gunbreaker. But now after seeing that Warrior, I have to be a Warrior now. To be a Warrior now. After seeing that Warrior, I gotta be a Warrior. Oh my gosh. Eventually, I'm gonna get all of them to 90, but the main ones I want to play now. It's Warrior, Sage, Reaper is definitely gonna get done, especially since it don't require a lot of positions. Reaper is definitely gonna get played. So Reaper, Black Mage, and like I said, Scholar's a given. Sage, I'm gonna play. They all just look good. Now I'm even thinking about Red Mage now too, because the Red Mage looked good. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's so, guys, I'm just gonna have a blast. So I hope y'all come with me on the journey when I take that, when we get there. But for now, that's gonna be it, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This was a long. I had no idea I was going to do this for 3 hours. But yeah, it's because in my mind I thought it was going to get done in like 1 hour, and then I was going to go play Dofus. But nah, it's done up. It's after like 9 o'clock already. Then I got to call my mother back. So thank you for staying with me, guys. Thank you for the ones who came. Finn, thank you for the follow, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, like I say, have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you all live at. This is Shanangelo signing out. Oh, that's my Discord. I'm gonna send you guys off properly.